Just put the webcam on when you're ready, and then I'll swap the
Okay.
scenes.
Yeah. Turn on the right one. Hey,
Let's go, man.
let's go.
I might have to adjust it a little bit, like
Okay,
in the
that's
scene.
fine.
Oh,
Do
it's
what you
actually
need to
fine.
do.
It's fine, right? Yeah.
Yes.
There we go. Hi, Derpa.
Hello.
What's up, man? How
Hello,
are you?
Stuff. Nah, I'm good, man. I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I just had some dinner actually, so I was actually running a little late. I mean, I
Okay.
obviously prepared earlier, but you know, I wanted to start stream a little before this, but you know, we ran late on dinner, so you know, it happens.
Ah, yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
So first of all, I'd like to say thank you for coming on. I appreciate you taking time out of your day.
It's okay. Thank you for having me. I'm honoured to be on the SLOTHCAST. You know, ever since I was a little kid, I dreamed to be on something like this,
yes.
to be an internet sensation, and you know, obviously, be a partner with you in this amazing event. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. You're gonna make me blush, man.
No, honestly, no, you're making me blush. Like, I just couldn't sleep last night. I was ecstatic. You know, it's like.
Okay, yeah. All right, so, you know, the way I usually do this, as you might know, I'm like gonna be asking you some questions, and you're gonna try and answer those that you're comfortable with the best.
Right.
And Chad's obviously also gonna ask some questions, and yeah, we'll
Yep.
see how it goes, right? It usually is pretty chill, so. How about you start telling us a little bit about yourself?
What sort of things do you want to know? Do we start from like day one?
Yeah, but
You know,
like
I
let's
arrived in
say
the world.
that people don't know you, like most people here
Right.
will do,
Okay.
right? Like if for someone that doesn't know about you, what would you like?
Right.
How would you like to like introduce yourself?
Okay. So I'm a world famous Mortal player. Obviously, I do some streaming every now and then. Been playing comp since release. Know pretty much all the good players in EU competitive. Few NA people, but not really that many. Knew about Mortal for a while. Never really played it. I was like a Giri Giri fanboy at some
Oh,
point because I met him in like some e-dating server,
okay.
which is like is a whole like different thing. But yeah, and then like he started to advertise this story of you know, oh, just a new up and coming melee slasher. And I was like, what are you on about? And I was like, Mordhaus. And then that's sort of how I got into it. Then I started to find out his streams, watch some Shiver of him, you know. He
Yeah,
taught me a bit for like maybe 5 hours. And then yeah, I bought it on release. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try hard at this game. I did, and here I am.
yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
Yep.
for sure. So you, in some way, you would actually say that Giro might have inspired you to get into Mordhaus to some extent.
Yeah, I mean, without me meeting Guru Guru on that server, I don't think I'd ever buy this game, let alone play it to the extent I have for this long and reach. I suppose the level, you know, I'm at right now, like maybe I would have bought it, but I'll probably just be like some pub player, you know, just role playing like as an archer or some shit. I doubt I would have
Yeah.
been comp level, like anywhere near it.
No. Yeah, that's fair. Actually, the way I got into Morehouse as well was actually I played Chivalry with my little brother like a little bit when he was like way younger, the first one, and Medieval Warfare, and it actually ended up with him finding out about Mordhaus as well, and was like, oh, that looks pretty cool. So it's actually his fault that I'm playing the game as well. I would never have heard about it had he not talked to me about it. So it's kind of crazy how like you can have one guy tell you about like this game, and you now we've been playing it for a fuck ton of hours, really. You
Yep.
know, I just hit 2k hours, so now I'm officially a gremlin. way too much.
Yeah,
So your story with melee slashers pretty much does that start with Chivalry, or did you was it mainly Mordhau when that really got you into it?
I'd say it's mainly Mortal. I like dabbled a tiny whiny bit in Chivalry before Mortal. So like I said, so I was sort of like around since I'd say 2017, sort of like when Mortal was in its like alpha beta stage, like it was private. You either were a Russian like illegal like key downloader, or you were someone who put a load of money into the Kickstarter to get a key.
Yeah.
So because I didn't know how to get a key, and no one was really helping me because I was sort of like a no name. So people would try and be like, "Yeah, PayPal me 300 quid, and I'll send you one." I was like, "Yeah," I was like, "Right, I'm never getting into it." So I watched, and Giri would like he'd switch from Mortal back to Shiv back to Mortal. And I was like, "Oh, I'll get Shiv, you know, I've heard of it." So I played it, and I was like, "Oh, hitting his vape. Oh yeah, I'll come teach you Derpa." I was like, "Okay." So I played for like maybe 5 hours, but it's like nothing compared to like most people. So
Yeah,
I'd say
that's
Mortal
true.
was my OG game in terms of melee slashers.
Yeah, see, I never really played much Shiv myself here. I think I had like 50 hours. That was just me shooting my little brother, as I said, with a crossbow, just tilting him. So like I had no prior experience myself with the game. So it's like it's kind of crazy, really. Like I never thought I was gonna be playing a game like Mordhaus. Did you have any other kind of games that you preferred playing before this? League, Counter Strike, something like that?
Oh yeah, 100%. So I had 3 stages because I'd like to say I've been on Steam for a bit.
Mhm.
So when I first got a computer, TF2 was like the main one I'd play. I
Oh
put
yeah.
like 700 hours into it. I'd play Soldier and Scout, and I'd just roam around. Then eventually I got into Gary's mod,
Mhm.
and then I put like 1k plus hours into that, and I was just sick at the game. I was absolutely unreal, but at the same time I was a 15-year-old. So what I may think sick isn't like now.
Hmm.
Like back then, I was just probably some cringer griefer. But yeah, it was that, and then obviously Dota. Dota is my main game. Like
Oh
still
yeah.
is to this day. I've got probably now about 4.2k hours onto the game.
Hmm.
Like it is one of the ones where just I'd constantly grind it. Whereas the other two is I did play it a lot, but at the same time it'd never be like only that game. It'd just be like TF2 all the time, and then like every now and then I'd pop onto like a different game like COD or whatever. But Dota was just non-stop.
Yeah. I mean, I am kind of in the same situation with that with League. You know, that was like my game, and I know, League dog shit, but
Fair enough. I mean,
that was like, you know, when it first came out in 2009, I think it was. My friends bought it, and I had a shitter PC with like 10 FPS. And they were all like, "Oh, we gotta play this at LAN," and then I got into it like that. But you know, so, like that's like the game with me, like with your Dota. It's been like that's been the grind. So you know, coming onto a game like Morehouse is a different experience, really. You know, there's just nothing comparable about it. Going from a team-based game to a mainly, you know, not really team-based game. I mean, there obviously is team elements like SKM and frontlines and stuff, but it's not like you're gonna see people playing as a team much in frontlines and invasion. It's mainly just people fucking about. Yeah. So
100%.
well, what's your thoughts on Mordhaus as of right now in comparison to when it launched?
It's upsetting to say the least, but at the same time, it was expected to happen. Like, if people were to ask me, would I do I regret playing Mortal? Probably not. Like at the start, it had a lot of potential. Like I always believed that the game was originally made for competitive players, since the developers were Shift competitive players,
Yeah.
and they got upset because the developers of I think Torn Banner, like is their company, Pigget and all that. They just basically didn't really give a shit about the game. Like after a certain amount of time, they just dropped it, and then obviously loads of comp mods came, and it kept on dying and dying. Like sort of, it's a bit of an irony because the exact thing which they complained about, they're sort of now doing in terms of comp casual base. I mean, they're sort of still doing it. You got like the Eastern update coming soon, and you know they're releasing epic new invasion maps and whatever. But in terms of competitive, like it's a struggle now. We're like a burning ember, and there's loads of revival things everyone's trying to do, which like I myself I'm helping with, but it's like we're just chucking like maybe 1 or 2 twigs onto there to maybe burn it for like a few more months or so, maybe even a year. But I don't think it's ever gonna be the same as it was in release, unless like they just do some massive overhaul and sell it to some AAA company who'll just advertise the fuck out of it. Because there's no adverts for this game. It's the same as Dota. Like when people say, "Oh yeah, well, League's so much better. It's got better players." Like if you compare how many times you've seen a Dota advert and how many times you've seen a League advert, League is just chucking their money like on adverts. You got like that K-pop one. They do like K-pop music, and they have like these epic cutscenes where like random like people of color, you know, this like massive ethnic one, which is like someone like picking up their sword and be like, "This is my weapon," and then another one saying, you know, "This is my teddy bear," you know, all that shit. And then you look at Mortal, it's like, oh, where's the Mortal trailers? You got none. You search it up and you just got articles saying Mortal racist game, or you know, troll Mortal streamer permanently banned. Like there's nothing there which like new players will look at and like say, yes, I want to play this game. And like the best we have is like people like you, people who stream it every day and just hope that one day you pop up on a recommended or something.
Yeah, but then again, like I hardly think that's ever gonna happen. I do agree, like the neglect of the comp scene in Morehouse has literally killed it off. You know, there is like this little cluster of people playing, and it's also kind of hard to get into it at this point, right? Because everyone is so good. You have to join like a smaller team and stuff like that, and you can do that, of course, but like it's that kind of thing you should have been here from the start kind of feeling, you know what I mean? Like everyone knows each other. You're not gonna get invited to scrims and pucks and that kind of stuff as much if you don't know people. It's kind of weird. And you know, the marketing for Morehouse, such a fiesta, man. I can't believe they haven't put anything into that, because marketing for games is like such a huge part of getting it out there. And you have a niche genre like Emilia Slashers here, right? It's not like mainstream, you know, games like Shiv and Mordhaus. You have to promote it super hard. You have to get it out there. The trailer got some traction. It looked cool. A lot of people actually ended up buying it, but they didn't. After that, they didn't really do much with it. They should have kept promoting it. Yeah, I think it's a shame, really. Like, I would have loved to see esports in Morehouse, and I genuinely think that could be, had there been more focus on it.
I mean, there's definitely a chance, man.
Smaller esports. Not obviously not like big scale, like League or CS, but you know what I mean, like small stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you say that, but like Tritanium did get offers from RedBlue. They did get offers from ESL. Like the chance was there, but like I don't know who like filled in the forms or who decided not to do anything, but they killed it, man. And also the players killed it. Like the only advertisement we got, like I said for you, was Twitch streamers. And for some reason, I mean, obviously the people who did it don't really care. They just want their 5 minutes of fame. But stream snipers, like, sort of killed any sort of hope for people wanting to play it. Like, so I think at the start, people like Lyric, the Summit 1G, you know, like really, really big, like
Shroud
streamers.
As well.
Yeah, Shroud. They all played it. They all went on ranked, and then it's just like, funny man with, you know, naked pan. Like the first few times, you know, it's funny. It's like, ha ha ha, you know, this game's wacky, funny, ragdoll game. But like as soon as every single queue, it's just a guy with a quarter staff. Like you're not having fun because the guy is clearly like a few more ranks up than you. He's just DMing you to have fun. They'll look at your name or like the person's name, and be like, that's the guy who plays the pan. And there you go. And then they just get bored of the game. Like, right, chat, I'm not playing anymore. I'm just getting sniped. Like, I want to play Invasion, but I just have a crowd of 50 people. And there's no like anti-stream sniping like features. Like, and there still isn't. I think there's one where you can hide the server information now, like at the top tab. But even then, you still have to look for a server. You still have to search it and join it. And it's really not that hard to just find, you know, the name which is on there and just be like, oh yeah, I'll just join through him instead. Especially
not if you're playing like duels, for example, or SKM, right? There's only like a couple of known servers, and some of the servers have, like, for example, Derpa server, right? He has some maps that are unique to that server. As soon as you're on that map, people know exactly where you are. And P hates duel yard, you know, it's kind of the same thing. So it's like, oh, you have 3 servers to pick from. How many is in that server? Is it more than 10? Then it's probably this one. So it's a little weird with stream sniping in the game, and I understand why people do it, but I also hate the fact that it's so popular to do it. But you know, there's not really much to be done about it now. The game's not gonna get any big streamers on. I don't think so. Like really. When Summit tried to play again, like people just griefed him like until he couldn't take it anymore, and he wasn't even a good sport about it. But you can kind of tell that he was fuming a little bit, like, under the smile, you know? Yeah, it's a shame. So, being an OG comp player, can you tell me a little bit about the history of Mortal Kombat? Because that's something I know very, very little about.
So, I don't really know a lot based on like pre-release, so like the alpha and beta. I know there was a
Mhm.
few teams from Shiver which like moved here. I think teams like Fiststorm, VK, like they all like the main teams because they're like Shiv vets. But on release, I'd like to say there was a good amount of teams which was there. So Tritonian endorsed this company called Ventus Melee,
Yep.
which was it was a community run thing with like a few Americans, a few Europeans, and that. And basically, their aim was to get comp amazing, host loads of tournaments with amazing big prize pools. Whoa! And then like it just went down the drain. So teams which like I can think of like from the top of my head, you had Blades of Odin, you had Enigma, VK, VKB, Symbol. I think Myrmidons came on later, but they had like their own like renames about 50 million times.
Oh.
You had like Berserkers. I think Endless were there as well. Yeah, there are just so many people. Like, and if you look now, the players which were there back then, there's just barely any which like still play now, like actively. But there was a lot of teams because before the main tourney, which was like one of the first tourneys I played, there was like some 5v5 tourneys, and like the biggest thing was always Fist versus VK or PF and all that, and it was quite a big friendly community, and there was a lot of competition. Although VK won most of them, like they still, I think there was one they finished second in as well, so it wasn't just like a full hard stomp. Then there was basically this massive tournament, which was for I think a total of about 20k, I believe.
Wow.
Or they advertised it at 20k. It was essentially there was first the 3v3 tournament, and they were all in group stages, and I think once you get through the group stage, you did a 3v3 to the final, and then the winner of the final got like 3k, 1k, and like I think the total was like 5,000 for that tournament.
Yeah.
And then the people who finished first and second on each of the group stages and whatever, they then got qualification for the invasion tournament, which was a 6v6 invasion tournament with a 15,000 pound USD Euro prize pool split between three regions. You had OCE, NA, and EU.
Yeah.
And essentially, everyone was like completely ecstatic over it. Everyone was like, this is good. It's not a major amount of money.
No, it's definitely good though.
In majorly large tournaments, you look at Dota and they have like 17 million, but 15 grand for a game which has just been released, which has like 60k players, that's still pretty good. So, like loads of teams signed up for it. And when I started, I was getting coached. So I don't know if you've heard of the player Rise at all. Very, very funny man.
I think I've heard about him, but he doesn't play anymore, does he?
No, he doesn't play. He quit comp. Like probably about a year ago, like when VK disbanded. So like I said, when I first played Morehouse, I was like, right, I want to be competitive. So I was working at the time, and I was like, I've got some money, I'm going to buy some Rise coaching. He still does coaching still, fiverr.com/Rise coaching. And I got these coaching sessions with him. I was like a level 20, I think, which is maybe equivalent to like 100 hours. I'm not really sure how level to hour equivalent like the conversion is.
I don't think it's 100 hours. It's more like 50 probably or something. It goes pretty fast in the start, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Maybe something around that.
Yeah, it was something like that. So I had those hours, and he taught me the basics. He taught me how to duel, and then we'd play some skirmish against like a team called Exiles, which was another team which was there, and then some of them moved to like Banter Boys, or some of them were in Banter Boys. And you had Frostwolves as well, which was a really good team. And we basically, I got a message from Rise, because he was always like to me, well, what do you want to do from this coaching? What do you gain from it? I was like, well, I want to join the comp team. So it's like, okay, cool. I'll try and speak to people and see whether or not you can get into a team. So, I was waiting, I was continue dueling every now and then, trying to make any pugs I can. And eventually he messaged me. I was like, yo, do you want to join VKB? I was like, what's this? Like, I've never heard of it. Yeah, it's a team I'm making right now. I'm going to put you in a team with like a few other people I know. So it was a team of me, Hitbob, which some people may recognize, some people may not. Again, he was like always in VKB with me. A guy called Unsy, who doesn't play anymore either. But fun fact, he's one of the community managers for the game Dying Light. If you've ever heard of that game.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah, so like
that's cool.
He's a pretty cool guy, so I speak to him a lot because I actually like the game, and I speak to him about Dying Light too. But yeah, he's their community manager, and then some like we might as well cause drama on this stream, but some creature called Mopzilla, who was like an absolute weirdo. But it was basically us four, And it was a 3v3 on Mountain Peak camp and all that shit. So we had it wasn't on contraband. There was no steedy contraband. There was no BEB. There's no modded maps. It was all vanilla maps.
Yeah.
So we did that, and safe to say, we got fucking stomped. Like the people in our bracket, it was us, VK, who again was the strongest team or one of the strongest. Symbol, who at the time had godlike A gear. If he's renamed himself now to like Hanjo Yujiro Taku or some shit like that. He's a Buddha now. He's reformed. He's awakened. It was him, like Siori Putis, like some like still some active players, and we got stomped by Symbol. Or no, we didn't get stomped. It was close. But because it was my first tournament, I was really, really shit. So I kept on team hitting and griefing. And like Unsi was pretty good and Hip Hop was good. But we lost to them. And then we got stomped by VK. And then we had another team as well, who I think were Berserkers, who were like just some Russian gamble clan. And I think we beat them, but we beat them, but we ended up third. So we never qualified at all. So it was a bit sad. And then VK went through. They won the tourney. Blah blah blah. Like who really cares? And this is. Podcast is about me to this point, so all of that shit happened. Like they got their money, or they got partially some of their money, and then with the invasion tourney, Rise was basically like, right, we need more members, so we picked up like a load of new members, because like loads of teams were like switching around and shit, and like everything was changing. So we got some people from Frostwolves, we got someone called Conradus, we picked up some jeweler boys called Bullet T, Bilson and Jezzy. We also got some people from Exiles as well. Sammy 1G. I'm sure some people have heard from him, not through Mortal.
I've heard about him. Yeah.
Stream sniper. Yeah, he's a original Zulul. Him and Vadicus and whatever. So it was Sammy 1G, then Skinny Mage, and who else? And some other people. Obviously, Hip Hop was still there. So we had this brand new team, and then like later on we got some even more members. So we got the Rocky, who was here for probably about a day. Like he played one scrim with us, and then he left for the reason of he didn't his words, like something along the lines of, I didn't want to be the best player in a team. So he left, basically saying that we were too bad and he didn't want to be the best person in the team because he wanted to improve, something like that, and he left. I think later on he ended up saying he didn't say that, but loads of people said he did. So I'm just going to go with the majority vote. So we had this new team, and basically Unsi sort of went AFK. He didn't really play because he got into beef with some people in VK. Like there's basically some drama of he was trolling, and then he was shit talking people because they were shit talking me, even though I knew the people. They were in a revival. Do you know Shady?
Yeah, Shady. Yeah.
Yeah, his team as well. He used to be in a team called DOA. I think they stand for.
Oh yeah, I know that. He used to go by the name Eminem at that time.
Yeah, that's it, Eminem. And then obviously there was Revival. Didi was another guy on my team, but he moved to Revival. Revival was, I think Revival was pretty much void now. It was like him, Tombstone, Toby, and just some other mid-tier guys. So basically, we managed to sneak in to the invasion tournament, really, really naughty, like what we did. But who cares? No one really cared. So Exiles qualified, but their team disbanded. It was like Warlord, Mayo, Big Man, Skinny, Sammy, and all that. So they disbanded, and because we took some of the Exile members, we were like, let's do some technicality. So we signed up as Exiles, and we were like, well, let's just rename ourselves to VKB. So that way VKB could still go through, but we're taking Exiles' spot. And there was basically they were told by Myrmidons, or then it was told Myrmidons, which is now sort of Raven Gaming, but load of Shifu members. But yeah, they told Myrmidons that they because although they finished first but Exiles dropped out, they were allowed to go through. However, because we then suddenly was like, oh yeah, we're totally Exiles, Myrmidons then had to face us in the qualifier. So they then lost that match, but they still managed to get through because another team dropped out, luckily. So then that team went through, and that team was like Pug, I think Pug, Yeeping, maybe not Yeeping, Thriber, who's obviously insane now, Like
Yeah,
they just
yeah.
had like so many like newcomers who like nowadays when you look at it, you're like, holy shit, you know, that team would have been stacked.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, Lucio, Cieni, like Sushi saying Daisy, who's, you know, endless captain, probably one of the best duel players. Like he coached me a little bit, like maybe a year ago or whatever. So then we all came through, and then the big Ventus 15k tourney happened. You know, Mortal was posting it; it was coming on their front page. There were a few like really small news articles which were writing about so like, oh yes, you know, new amazing melee slasher sold 2 million copies, releasing new tournament.
Yeah.
But that was the peak, and then from then it just massively dropped. Like
Yeah.
Ventus shat on everyone. So one of their organizers called Oskov, he was held responsible to deal with the organization of the NA scene, the
Mhm.
EU scene, and the OCE scene. And it doesn't take a donut to realize that how can one man in EU be awake for NA, OCE, and EU, organize everything and get it all under control for such a big tournament? Because there was a lot of teams in there.
Yeah, there's no way.
There's like 32 teams in each region, and each one had 6+ players into it, and he basically got given the job to organize everything.
Yeah.
So bear in mind, like the guy was in the Shiv community, like he played Shiv quite a bit. He just dipped. He never came back. He's still alive. There's some people who I know who know him, and you know he still messages them at some point. Like he is alive, but he just got off Discord. Just didn't want to have it have anything to do with it. And here's the good story. Like here's the VKB story. So VKB, like for a long time, VKB was not liked at all for a few reasons. One, people weren't like 100% sure of how VKB came to be, so people didn't like it. Some people like came up like with speculation of they're just pay to win players. You know, everyone who's in VKB basically bought coaching, and because of that, they got let in. Then some of them were like, oh, they're all academy members. You know, Giru picked them all, and you know he's just being a massive tryhard or whatever. Because that was another thing, something called like VK Academy, where like he picked 10 random players, and then he would coach them. Like the whole team of VK would coach him. It happened for like maybe 2 weeks, then it died. And there's still loads of videos on it. If you go on Ager's YouTube video, he records every single session, and it's got some good stuff for now. I don't know like how up to date it is now, considering all of the changes, but so some were saying oh, VK Academy is the reason why VKB exists. You know, they're not actually good. They've just been, you know, bum licked by VK, and then other people were just gone.
That's a bad attitude to have, though. Like, obviously, there's nothing wrong with getting coaching if you feel like you need it to get up to pace, you know? There's a reason that professional players in other esports games play like 6-8 hours a day, you know? It's to get good.
Oh yeah, no, of course. I mean, obviously, none of it was really justified. It was just a train people were doing. It was just a trend, and it didn't help that some people in VKB were a bit, I guess, mouthy to some people.
Yeah.
So obviously, VK Old Jewels was the OG jewel place for the European scene. So it was the same thing as in Shiv. VK Old Jewels would be it. You know, you join, praise the sun was the password, blah blah blah, and then VK Old Jewels in Mortal came along because a guy called Zenil. He was a fan of Giru. He basically like got a degree in uni, and they gave him like a load of AWS tokens, which is like a currency you can use to like run servers and host them and shit.
Oh wow.
So basically, it was like, yeah, I don't need these. I'm never going to be using them again. You can take them. You can run all the servers. So VKB was up for a long time, or the VK Old Jewel was up, and then obviously there's VK Private and VKB Private. Like all of those passwords switched every now and then. Like that's why sometimes when people are like, oh, what's the password? People reply with like potato62 Wuhan bat soup. Rice coach, and those are all passwords for VK. Yeah, if true connect, you know, all that sort of shit. So yeah, so what I was saying, oh yeah, another reason why there's people called like Bullet T, who I liked. I don't mind him. Like he's German, so you know, like his personality is like really understandable. But he was an admin on VK Old Jewel, and because he followed the rules as well, people didn't like him. So if he saw you FFA, be like, okay, I'm going to ban you now. And then, you know, they get banned, and then people are complaining about that.
Oh yeah, trust, I know that.
Yeah. Yeah. Like not it's not a hate to like all Germans, but just some Germans are like that. Obviously there's good Germans around. You know, you got Yiping, you got Dawasti. I guess Zion counts as a German, but not really because he's Turk, but same thing, to be honest.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like Bullet Team Conradus, like people didn't really like them. because Conradus would tilt a lot, and obviously Bullety was at the time full of himself, or people believed he was full of himself. I'm not going to say if he was or not. That's not my place to stand on. But because of that, VKB sort of had like this bad rep. So we'd scrim loads of teams, and in the invasion tourney, we were like considered one of the worst teams, like on paper, because none of us had any comp experience apart from Hitbob, who knew Giru and Rise and all that through Overwatch. Because I don't know if you knew this, but Giru and Rise were semi-pro comp players for Overwatch. So they had their own
Oh, really?
profiles and shit. Yeah. Like
Damn.
they were all really good, and Hitbob was top 1 Overwatch player at some point on I think Bridget, the Torbjorn's daughter.
Oh no,
with
fuck
the
fuck
shield and
that
the healing.
shit.
Yeah.
She's such
So
a fucking cunt to play into.
he was a really good support main, man. Like Hitbob was sick, and he got top 1 with it like quite a few times. So they were sort of all friends, and then he tried out Mortal. He played Shiv as well with them. So he was like the only one with like competitive experience, not just in terms of melee slasher, but just in terms of like the nerves and the mindset. Because
Yeah.
a lot of people don't realize like playing tournaments now, shit like draft tourneys where the rewards are in-game gold. The not necessarily the pressure, but the way you feel like for the first time where that real money's on the line.
Yeah.
Like it is quite decent. Like I'm not gonna lie, I was shaking like the first time I was in a tourney, and like I knew that if I lost, we lose the chance of getting money, and like it's all on me. Yeah. So that happened, and we were considered like the ones to lose. And basically, first, second, third were going to be either VK Frostwolves first, because Frostwolves had loads of sick members. They had Bruno, they had Rocky, they had Jakoa, Yuba, Oni, and who else did I have? Pac-Man, who at the time Pac-Man was like in his prime in Shiv. He was an insane Shiv player. And like that was a really, really strong team. And then obviously VK had Cryptos, Stouty, Rise, Giru, Frank, Bob, and all that, because basically Bob and Frank were in PF, which is powerful. But then Giru, like they disbanded, and then some people from PF came to, I think, did they go to Fist? Yeah, some of them went to Fist, and then Fist was known for a bit as Power Fist. And also some of them went to VK, which was Bob and Frank. Yeah. And then Power Fist was good, but then they they left again. Like there was a lot of changes in the Russian community. And then Fist was with Storm for a bit, I believe. And then they went into Fisting Storm, was their team name or something. It was like Storm. Humiliation, Shredder, Miyamoto, like all that team. And then, Alpha was in there as well. He moved to VK as well. And Monk was in there as well. Monk's like some proxy wannabe. And essentially, although we were one of the people to consider to be knocked out instantly, we ended up finishing second, beating teams like Fist and Frostwolves. Like there's some sick clips of like us popping off. Like we beat teams like Myrmidons, which was good because there was some drama where Thriber was shit-talking us. Yeah. Like at the time, he was like saying, "Oh man, VKB so shit, skinny so bad, blah blah blah," and like it's still on YouTube now of VKB versus Myrmidons, and Thriber ended up being like 1-17 in the game.
Oh no!
So it was a sort of good drama which got settled a bit, and yeah, so we beat them. Then Legion came along, it was sort of like Enigma, but it was like Enigma with like some other good players. It had Stinky, I think Kodlak, Roag, and some other players, and Stinky had some drama as well. Obviously caused by VKB, which caused more people to be like, "No, VKB are just coping, they're just bad." Yeah. There's this one clip of a scrim between Yeeping was in Legion, fuck off. There's this one clip of a VKB scrim against against Legion. I wasn't there, I think I was at work at the time, and it was essentially like, I'm Stinky here, I'm like in a 2v1, and basically either Bullety or Sammy did a perfect miss. So like if you watch the screen, like the sword basically goes like from here across his shoulder, like through his arm, but it doesn't hit him. And basically Stinky reads that completely, parries the other attack like later on, and then ends up winning the 1v2, and then loads of cheat accusations come out. Yeah. So I love Giru. I think Giru's an amazing guy. The only thing I don't like about him sometimes is his viewers. Like he's got a very like minionated like viewership. So whatever he says goes, you know, monkey see, monkey do. So when Giru saw this clip, he was like, oh yes, this guy's cheating, this guy's cheating. And then from that onwards, like any person who didn't know Stinky would just accuse Stinky of being a cheater. To the extent like Tawnies were always considering to ban him. You know, like anytime he joined somewhere, people were like, oh my god, ban Stinky, you know, cheater. And like he'd be
that
like,
sucks,
bro,
man.
you know, yeah. So like he sort of lost his rep, and yeah, so that team died because no one wanted to scrim Legion anymore because they had Stinky the cheater, and because Giri said that he was cheating, you know, he had to be. And then obviously now the guy's A/S tier, you know, he's doing the same thing as he normally does.
Yeah.
So go on.
Yeah. Fuck me, I can't speak English apparently. What I wanted to say was that it's not very uncommon when bigger streamers have like a following, and they just stand for them. You know, whatever you say is whatever goes, as you said before. And I think it's kind of dangerous. You gotta be very careful with what you say, because it can really impact other people a lot. Like Stinky, as I know him from now, he's fucking insane, right? I've never thought he would be cheating, but I think it's a little bit, you know, the same with Poach. Maybe like a lot of people think he's cheating because other people have said that he's cheating, but like, what's your thoughts on that, actually, real quick?
I mean, cheating accusations are always going to happen. In terms of like minions, that's always there. Like I could name a few times where even I've been shit talked by like Giru's viewers. Because obviously, like I said, like I've known Giru for a bit, so he knows that when he says something about me negatively, I'm not going to take it personally.
No.
So because I was like a really low level in VKB compared to everyone else, and I had like half everyone's hours, he'd be like, "Oh yes, Derpa shit," and then all his chat, anytime I'd join a server, or anytime like I'd shut up in chat, I'd just get tagged saying, "You're garbage, you're dog shit," you know, you're holding VKB down, and I don't know these guys, so I can't tell if they're joking or not. I just join a duel yard, and like there'll be quotes like, "Oh yeah, the only thing Derp is useful for is like playing the loot or something," and it's like I would laugh, but then at the same time I don't know you, so I don't know why you're saying this to me.
Yeah.
Like, and it's just like with any drama, like for any big Twitch streamer, there's just going to be a group of people who are just undying followers, and I think that hurt this team a lot as well. Because like I said, Legion died because of it. There's also some drama with Rick, which like always happened in drama with Bruno. And then I don't know if Bruno was cheating. Like Bruno's got so many cheating accusations, like even from Shiv. Like Bruno lag switching, you know, Bruno has a bot, and then Rick ended up, you know, being a cheater. Like he did admit to editing any files and shit, but even then, like there's never any hard evidence. But just because a big influencer says it, everyone just follows him, or the majority of people follow him without asking, how do you know this? You know, are you 100% sure about it? Yeah,
the thing with cheating accusations is that it's something that you never really come back from 100% unless someone clears you directly off of it. And in a competitive game, like in the pro scene, right, like in, for example, CS, if someone is accused of cheating because they land some insanely lucky shot or something like that, like the fans are just gonna turn on them until that someone can clear them, and it's just a shame really to see that. And I hate to see that in a game like Mordhaus as well, because, you know, I don't know what cheats there are. There's probably some there's lag switching, there's auto parry, like what else is there? Speed hack?
And like they're talking here now, Dwasti and Sushi, the symbol one as well. So there's apparently this cheat called like the symbol lunge. Like a few players like Putis and Leon, like let's say like this is steady contraband, this is like one pillar and this is the other. Sometimes like every now and then someone would switch, and then like he would just lunge so far away that you can't catch the switch, and then again Giru would be like cheater, or like people will post clips about it, and then people wouldn't scrim because they think yes, Putis, Leon, cheater, you know, they have chamber bot or parry bot, lunge bot, and blah 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 blah. And then like the scene's so small at that point that like if you want to accuse someone, you have to be certain, because not only will it affect your team, because now no one's gonna like you. Like I'll get onto that later, people disliking VK, but it will also now be that no one will scrim that team as well, regardless of if you're right or wrong. It's sort of like a rape allegation, you know.
Yes, 100%.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're right or wrong. Like the effect's now going to be there forever, even if later on it's proven that you didn't do that to someone.
Yeah.
Like doesn't matter. You've already been called that and whatever, and people are just now gonna have this negative view on you.
Yeah, true. And like, You know, I think a good example of this, like, entire mentality of having that guilty before proven innocent mindset, which is completely backwards thinking, in my opinion. Like, you see it a lot on Twitter with the cancel culture and all this kind of shit, and people losing jobs and careers and all this kind of shit, and it's just mind-boggling to see that creep into games like these, like even small games, small communities like Morehouse. You know, say his results are well liked at like a point, right? And then people found out he were using auto parry, and now he can't even play on any servers that are like, you know, like known servers. Like, I still see him coming on Mordhaus almost every day, but or like a couple of times a week at least. But he's never on any server where people recognize him. It's always like some random servers. So like, if you get caught cheating in Morehouse, you were fucking annihilated. Like, you were gonna be excluded from the community super fast.
Yeah.
Straight up.
There's been some good times of mob mentality. Like later on, there were a few like pedophiles, I suppose, which we managed to press out of the comp scene, who then later on came back. But you know, I feel like sometimes there are good times that this happens, but then again, like, we had so many clips of like these like weird nonces who like they just said some sus shit, man, or like drew some really disgusting stuff where like there's just undoubtedly, you know, we need to group up and we need to work, but just most of the time they just go off a whiff, man. It'll be like, shit, this guy didn't parry this amazing read. Yep, cheater 100%. It's just coping mechanism, man. It's like sometimes if someone's better than you call him a cheater, but when a big influencer says it as a cope, it's just sorry, your career's ruined now. You're not a player anymore. No one's gonna like you or respect you. You're fucked.
Yeah, the worst part as well is with this, that if you have a big following and you accuse them of cheating, people are gonna be fucking ruthless, like death threats and all this kind of shit. Like, people really go out of the way in a level that is just fucking disgusting, really. Like, I can't imagine. Like, obviously everyone has tried being said, like, when people say kill yourself and shit in games, it happens all the time, you know. But like, sending, you know, emails or letters and shit to people's addresses saying that they should kill themselves or I hope you die or some shit, it's super weird to me. Weird mentality to have. It is just a game after all, you know. If you're not making a living off of it, you should never become like that attached to it, and you should never have that attitude regardless. It's just weird.
Yeah, I agree.
He can tell to kill myself more than GG. Oh, the pain. Okay, we talked a little bit about the comp stuff, and I'm certain there's plenty more you could tell. Because, you know, it's still like it's still evolving, you know, the some of the drama, some of that's good stuff. So I actually have a question about drama. Is there any current drama right now in comp that you would want to spill the tea on if you have the balls for it?
I wouldn't really. I wouldn't say there's drama because the scene's just too dead to like have any drama at the moment. Like, there used to be drama, like before. There'd always be like some sort of drama, and the thing is, like, drama in a comp scene. What's the best way to put it? It's like putting a match to a petrol cube. At the start, it's gonna blow up. You know, it's gonna look really good. It's gonna be super hot, but it will die super quick. And that's one of the things which happened in Mortal. There was drama to the extent of there's just too much that as soon as all the drama died and all the hype was gone, like the scene just kept on going down and down. Because obviously there's like some significant ones. There's like there's the drama with VK. There's the Napoj and RedBlue drama, which happened at some point. Then there was like the mini one between VKB and I think BSO, which was Thriber's clan at the time. Then there's obviously like PKRG, which wasn't really drama. It was more like good competition. And then RGVK, you know, shit like that. Like, it was all good drama, and like loads of people watched it because, you know, you could put in any title, like RedBlue versus Poj first to 10. Like, loads of people will watch it. But as soon as that died down, like right now, there's just no drama because everyone knows each other now, and sort of like everyone who likes each other, they've like split up into different communities now. Like, you don't see, for example, the Baba Boys hanging out with pedo furries, you know, because they're in their own group. They want nothing to do with us.
Is that a fucking comp team?
No. It's not a comp team.
Okay.
No, but
That's what I was like, what the
it's just an example. Like,
okay, yeah.
it's just everyone who like wants to be in like their own like super cool personal bubble is now in the bubble, and
Yeah.
no one can really be bothered now because the game's so dead to try and like, you know, tease the bubble a bit, do a little bit of etchy and some Gucci. Like, none of that's gonna happen anymore because they'll either just ignore you or it's just not worth it to like kick up anything anymore.
Yeah, I feel like most of the drama that you actually see now in Morehouse is if you're streaming and you see like two people going at it and you end up, you know, casting their first to tens and shit like that.
Yeah.
And that's also good content because people want to see it. Like, if two top players are fucking flaming the shit out of each other, the entire chat is gonna be like first to 10, first to 10, first to 10, all the way down, and you're like, yeah, and don't mind me if I do. I mean, it's fun to see who wins, but you know, at the very highest level, it's very 50-50 as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so there's always that chance of it being very close, or you know, and if it's a complete stump, then people lose their shit because, let's say RedBlue and Post did a first to 10 right now, right, and Post 10-0'd him or the opposite way, like people would lose their shit, and you would hear for that like for the next 6 months in game for sure. So I think there's a lot of pressure in those kind of small events as well. Like, you know, Post does this thing with Lord, where they do the King of the Hill, right? Where he has to remain his title. And that's really fun to watch, and it's also fun to play in trying to whoop Poet's ass, but you know, it never really happens, does it? It's hard. Yeah. I think drama right now is mainly coming on Twitch, in people's streams and shit. If you're doing a pug or a scrim and people start flaming and you're streaming it, they will come in chat if you're in the game, and you know, it continues there. It's just kind of crazy. Like,
yeah, I agree. I also feel like that someone needs to take the bullet.
Yeah.
In that, like, if you had two really good players together, so let's say Xeon and Soul, like, there's not really going to be any drama between that because they're both good guys, you know. It's like in wrestling, you got faces and heels. Like, the only good thing about Poge and RedBlue is that, unfortunately, RedBlue, I believe, is majority like disliked, and obviously Poge is majority liked. So because of that, there is that drama because, you know, RedBlue does shit talk everyone. And it creates that heel sort of persona, like whether or not it's him actually like being toxic and he actually means it, and whether or not, you know, he's just putting it on because it works for him as well. Like, everyone watches him when he streams because people want to shit talk him, but at the end of the day, the guy's getting 90 viewers on Mortal because people are watching him trying to FFA him. Like, if he doesn't care what people think, which 9 times out of 10 is the case, like, all you're doing is just fueling his adverts, fueling his viewership. You know, like, you want to snipe him on rank to try and kill him, well, go ahead. Like, you know, the guy is good at dueling. Unless you're like a super comp player, like, you're gonna lose to him, and all you're doing is fueling his persona or his actual ego. And that's about it. Because the thing is with RedBlue is he's been on my team before. I had like this team called VGF, which was like Venezuelan gold farmers. He was on the team and he was really, really shy and timid. Like, for whatever reason, like, he'd like, anytime he'd die, he'd be like, yes, sorry man, you know, sorry for dying, you know. Or like, he get switched on and be like, oh, my bad, that's my fault. And he'd be like, you know, yeah, no worries, mate, all good. But as soon as like he's in a jewel yard or he's streaming or he's like, fuck you, man, fuck you, Derpa, 3K hours dog, stupid animal, you know. So I was like, whoa, you know, like, what are you doing, man? Like, I mean, you're completely fine, and then that's about it.
I mean, see, like a couple of days ago, RedBlue is currently banned in my chat. He's not gonna stay banned most likely because I actually like having him around. He is like, he's very hot and cold, right? So we were doing like an in-house where I got invited into for some reason, which I definitely did not belong in there. But we did an in-house for like an hour, which was kind of fun. In voice chat, like 10 dudes. And RedBlue was in there. He was super chill. Like, we had a lot of fun. You know, there was no mold when anyone died. It was just good fun. And then later, like super late at night, we were playing, and he got into some argument with some other guy that was like way worse than him, and he just slaughtered him in chat. And it was a chill puck that ended up just getting, everyone just got so tilted from being in there that it just ended up disbanding the entire puck, you know. Even though it'd been going on for like an hour and a half, people just couldn't take it anymore. So, you know, it's like very up and down. Like, when RedBlue is chill, like, he's really chill and nice, and then when he gets mad, he gets really fucking mad, you know.
Yeah, like, as long as it's not Mortal, he's chill.
Yeah,
like,
100%.
I've seen a few streams. Shout out Petra. Like when she plays League or whatever, like he's so calm in League, man. If anything, like he's really what's the word? Not insecure, but he's like he dislikes himself. You know, he'll like
He's humbled.
like take a shot at. Yeah, sort of. Yeah, he'll be like, man, I'm so bad. You know, I'm so sorry. You know, I need to get better. You know, I mean that's a shit accent. I sound more.
You sound more French. Yeah, I was about to say.
Yeah, man. I can do certain accents like in certain quotes, but no, that's more of a French one. But yeah, like he'll be like, I'm so sorry, Petra. You know, I'm really sorry. I'm feeding. But as soon as like it's a game he's good at, like
Yeah.
his ego whoop all the way up. Like even in Apex, I reckon. Like if there was a Mortal House in Apex, he'd just shit talk everyone, like regardless of skill. But because he knows he's bad, he's humble about it. You know, he like respects that someone's better. I feel like that's just the pinnacle of ego, and that's just one thing in Mortal, which like more people seem to get more and more.
Oh
like,
yeah,
you're
the
still
ego
playing
in
Mortal
Morehouse
now.
big.
Like, yeah, you got to check yourself out.
I kind of understand like the mentality of people wanting to have respect put on their name if they are good at something. Like I can understand that, but like there's also a way of doing it, you know. Like humble people by shitting on them. You don't have to fucking slaughter them in chat as well, because they will know they're getting farmed. That's just like the cherry on top, you know what I mean? So it's not necessary unless people are asking for it. If some degenerate comes in and I'm farming him 10 times in a row, he's on first to 10. I'm not even gonna I'm just gonna say fuck off. Like you're not worth the time. Because you know, you already know the outcome. Like whenever I do a first to 10, it's into people like RedBlue, Faroki, Podes, Bruno, like higher level players. And I know I'm going into it with the mindset I'm gonna get found, but it's kind of fun trying your luck. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like the what if, you know, what if you can win? Like that sort of happened with me. Like there's this guy who used to stream a lot called Rekid. I'm not really sure. Yeah,
he's
not really sure what
chat
happened
right
to
now.
the guy, man. Like he was a Mortal streamer and he had like a load of views at some point, and he had a load of views in Rust. He like had 400, 500, and then I was pretty sure the guy was viewbotting, but I wasn't sure because he would be like, oh no, it's because I had a Minecraft server. Then he got outed for cheating in Rust. He then got back banned on Rust. And now when I watch him stream the same game on Rust, he's only got like 20, 30 viewers.
Nah, sometimes he gets like 50 when he has drops on or something like that. But his channel is like definitely suffered a lot.
But go on.
I know that he knows some people that are like big YouTubers and big streamers, like Just Stop and the other Rekid, the one that's on YouTube. And they shouted his channel out as well, which got him a humongous boost. Obviously, if big YouTuber friend group says check this guy out, he's awesome and stuff like that, that will instantly just like your channel, you know, that will do it. But if you get caught cheating and stuff like that, that will just kill the respect for you as well. Like I would, if I got caught cheating in a game and I had a lot of viewers and everyone left, I would just quit streaming. Honestly, I generally think so, because that would be shameful. There's no excuse for it really, especially if you then lie about it after saying, I didn't get back. And like Rekid, he lied about it. He said some bullshit to me once when I was in the stream about it, and then I heard the day after from everyone that he cheated and got banned. It was like, it's not a good look, you know. It's really not a good look.
Yeah, so it was at the time he was streaming, I think he was doing pugs with RedBlue. Yeah. And we did 3v3 ranked at some point. He was queuing ranked, and I was in a game with RedBlue, and it was me, RedBlue, and just some random guy who happened to be in his chat, and RedBlue was dying pretty much instantly, and I was always left in a 3v1, and he started to like blame me all the time. And then obviously he pops out with the copes, like the normal copes he says to me. Like he'll be like, what was he saying? He'll just be like, you know, you're irrelevant. Go on, install the game again, because I took a break once for like a few months. And he somehow says, you know, you know, you got 3k hours on the game and you're this bad. Again, I don't know how he got 3k hours on. I'm still not even on 2k or 1.5.
Yeah.
But yeah, he'd say shit like that. So I asked him to first attend, because like you said, you know, if someone good challenges you to a first 10, you might as well, you know, let's go take it and see what happens.
Yeah.
You know, because you could win. So I made a deal with him, because he said he could 10-0 me. So I made a deal and I was like, look, I'll first attend you, but if I get 1 kill, I automatically win. So he was like, okay. So he managed to kill me, I think, twice. And then I killed him after that by just doing some completely retarded, I don't know if I can say that, but I'm going to say it.
No, fucking say it, I don't care.
Yeah. I did some like retarded overhead gamble jump. like into like his feint, and I managed to kill him. I alt tabbed, and then like the whole chat was going crazy. I was like, oh my god, 10-3 Derpa, Derpa wins 10-3, and then obviously he was fuming, man.
Yeah.
He was saying, I didn't do this. He was saying like, that wasn't the agreement. You're pussy. I win 10-1 now. 10-1 to me. You only won because you play light evening star.
Yeah.
And then like from that he just kept on coping, finding all the excuses like, I never agreed to this. This is such a shit rule. You're always going to be bad Derpa. You're always going to be irrelevant. You're never going to be as good as me. Blah 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 blah. And like that sort of ego is just fucking sad, man. But the fact that I took that advantage of taking the first attempt and I did win, obviously my rep to like all my friends. I don't really care what randoms think about me, but I think some people do. But obviously my rep just shot up because I posted a clip and I was like, yep. Derpa, you're insane. I'm like, I know,
It's also just good fun, being the victor, knowing that you won in like a Pepega way into someone that's much better. It's funny as fuck. I remember once when I was dueling with Poets. I actually used to play with Poets a lot at one point before he was still very good, but before he got like the best, before he went like Super Saiyan on the fucking Morehouse servers. I remember I played Evening Star and I hit him once and then I fainted him like 9 times in a row and he didn't punish me, and then I gambled him when he started punishing it and I killed him, and I remember him typing in the in-game chat, the fucking audacity you have to feint spam in the lead 5-10 times. And I said eat, and he said not a gamer word, but like a funny like kind of I don't think I can say it, but it's not like it was not racist, but it was like funny gamer, kind of spin on. Yeah. So and I clipped that, and I remember I had so much fun with it. It was such a good time, and I actually learned a lot from Poet like back in the day. I wish we still played more, to be honest, because he's actually not very fun to play with. I don't know if you played with Poach.
Oh yeah, I was playing with him just today. We were on Shiv, dueling each other. Like I've dueled him a few times. Like I think we did a first 10 on stream. And I'm pretty sure he wasn't trying, but I lost 10-9, I believe, because he was doing like this cosplay. Like every time he died, he'd switch to like a Siori outfit, and then to like a Putis outfit, then to a Yeeping outfit, or whatever.
Yeah.
But like I'm still happy I got 10-9 because he DM'd me afterwards. He was like, okay, I thought I could BM you a bit, but you're a bit, you're better than I thought. Like, although I'm still shit at duels, like I'm not known for being like a fucking amazing dueler. Like just having Poach say to me, you're not as bad as you look, it's like, get in. Like,
that's a good compliment to get, though.
Yeah, it's a very good one. Because, like, anytime I get put in a tier, it's always the same thing as, Derpa's good at skirmish, but his duels let him down. Or, Derpa can pop off, but he's inconsistent, and then put him in a duel and he's not going to do well. So being told that, someone underestimated, like, how good I was at dueling, especially by Poach, who's probably arguably the best dueler in EU. Like, it's good. It's good.
He's probably the best in the world, to be completely honest. Like, I don't think there is anyone around the world that's on Poach's level. Like, he's so good at reading. He always knows when to do the right swings, and he knows gambling like so well. Every time he wants to gamble he knows it's gonna land. It's not like just some random swing, He has a lot of good qualities in game, good game knowledge, so he's insane. Yeah, for sure. But yeah, like I'm first to 10 Poets, and I think the best one I ever got was like 10-4. And I think he memed the first one, like the first fight, and then played serious. But like I played so well that game, but I could just feel like he just was in complete control. Like it was mainly if he fucked up that I got punishment, and you know what I mean. Like, it was not that I was outplaying him. When he made mistakes that I landed any hits, and he still shat on me super hard. It's fucking crazy.
10-4 is still fucking good, man.
Yeah, but I'm not sure if he was kind of memeing or not, because, it's kind of hard to tell.
No one's gonna know, man.
Yeah, no, that's the thing, right?
Know.
That's the thing.
The score is what matters. Like, if I don't explain that Poach was memeing and I say 10-9, people are like, whoa, you're good. So saying 10-4, man, that's still insane. And I reckon this was, like, before, like, you coming into your jeweler prime as well. I don't know how long it was, but I'm assuming so. Like, not many low levels could get 4 kills on him, let alone,
Nah, but I'm on the real note though. If he 100% try hard, he will 10-0 me. Fucking no problem. 100% guarantee that.
cares,
No,
man.
I know that for a fact, because like a couple of months back it was like, if I try hard, you won't kill me in fucking 20 tries. And I said, okay, let's make it 30, right? But just for fun. I killed him twice, but he killed me 30 times though.
That's
He
still beating
fucking
his bet, though.
farmed my ass. Like, I've never been farmed in a game before, man. That was straight up pain. I did get him, but then there's people like Bear, right? He's so fucking insane at the game as well, but he has a lot of rules like you have to follow in order for it to be legit and stuff, right? I've fisted him a couple of times in Morehouse, like just grave dropped and fisted him in duels, which is very fun because he gets mad and it's, you know, you love to see that kind of shit, right? But like not real mad, but like, you know, like funny mad. And then there was one time where I did it, and he said, if you can do that again without chambling, I'll give you $500. And to this day, I did it. And it was like 2 weeks ago. And to this day, every time I see him, it's like, you owe me $500. I'm obviously not getting it, but it's just funny to remind him.
It's good, it's good, yeah.
Yeah, it's funny.
Bear loves his rule set, man. Like, lean back doesn't count if you lose, you know? Chamber once doesn't count. Like, he's very, what's the word? Restrictive, you know?
Yeah.
Unless you just do a basic riposte battle with footwork, then you know you're not good at the game. You're crutching the game's mechanics or whatever. Which is why I always feel it's a bit weird that him and Stouty are the elite balancers, I suppose, in the Discord, because it's only them two who talk, but they just bring in the like this perfect mindset that because they've always done it and they're not taking advantage of the mechanics.
Yeah.
If they now nerf him to the ground, they're now going to be like the best players in the world. Like, don't get me wrong, they're both good. Like, Bear's footwork is fucking insane.
His spacing is crazy, bro.
Yeah. But at the same time, like, if he just uses what you're able to do, so exploits it, like no way, like the guy's going to be bad. Like, he'll be top 3 duelers in the world, but because he's limiting himself to like these restrictions, like to these codes, like he's never gonna be like top 1, top 2, top 3, maybe even top 5. I don't know.
I think he's top 5. I'll probably put him in top 5. And he's actually started recently to do more chambers and to do more. He's gambling a lot as well. He's actually really good at gambling. You know, like if he sees an opportunity to get a hit in, he will take it. And you know, when you are very good and have really good reading, and especially his footwork and spacing it's hard to kill him because he will win on stam all of the time. You know, he knows exactly when to like burn your stam, and then he just comes back and farms you, and it's very hard to kill him.
Yeah.
But he's fun to duel though, because it's very challenging. He plays very different from a lot of other people. You can learn a thing or two from, you know, trying to play into something different. You know what I mean? He doesn't play vanilla. Yeah.
I enjoy Bear. I like him.
Bear, he's a funny guy. Yeah.
He's very based.
True. I remember the first time I fisted him in front of like fucking the entire server. He wrote like an entire Bible in chat, and it was fucking, I was fucking cracked up. It was so funny. And like, you know, the way he flames you is also just like an elevated level. But the same everyone now is kind of. Now everyone is just using Bear lines, you know. He's kind of got iconic with your mom dead kind of jokes and shit like that. Yeah. Okay, so do you think the comp scene, and go on with some questions, do you think the comp scene held itself back besides the obvious neglect from the developers?
Yes, in a way. I feel like the comp scene's very what's the word?
Self-destructive?
Not even that. They're very innate with change.
Yeah.
They like what they have, and regardless of how good or bad it is, they're very hesitant to change something because of like whatever happened in the past, or whether or not they become worse or better with it. Like a good example is Invasion. Like, I love Invasion. I feel like if we had a good map, one which wasn't designed for 32 versus 32, like Invasion would be good. We had Buyer Test, which people did enjoy, or a few people did enjoy. However, it wasn't majorly fun. People had critiques, but that's the thing. Like, you can change that. You can have the critiques. But then it was just a thing of, like, no one wanted to change anything or try anything new because not even a small majority, like a group of people didn't like it, and because they didn't want to make them upset, they would never change, which is why we stuck for so long, and we're still stuck for now. Like, like I said, there are some stuff which are going on, but we're still just stuck with 5v5 steady contraband.
Yeah.
There's nothing else going on, and because of that, it's just been bland. Like for the past 2 years, steady contraband,
True.
5v5, 2-2-1. You know, woohoo. You know, like it's so fucking shit, man.
Yeah.
And I think because of that, it has died out a bit. Like props to Stouty for Gold Rush.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
True.
at least he tried something. He made it, like, he got some people to make a map and he modded it. Yeah, it was a whole load of garbage, but at least he tried to, you know, at least he tried to offer something out to people.
Definitely, for sure.
Yeah, rather than just being content with steady contraband. Like, I feel like if we just have a good invasion map, like, the thing is, if you say to someone, let's play team objective, they will be okay, but if you say invasion, they say no. Even though invasion and TO are practically the same thing. They're both an objective from attacking and defending, going from point A to point B, C, D, E, with whatever. Like, if you compare Dark Forest to any of the invasion maps, Dark Forest is, you push a cart, okay, what has a cart? Push pretty much all the invasion game modes, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Then you open a gate by 2 people standing in a zone. Granted, Mortal doesn't have that in invasion, but that's okay. And then the next one is destroying blocks, like these fences.
Yeah.
So you can kill people inside of it.
Mm-hmm.
Biotest had that, but rather than killing people inside, you had to like take some gold or whatever. But there's already again implementation of killing peasants. I think Grad has that, like at the start, where you got to burn buildings and you got to kill peasants. Like,
True.
The mechanics which Shiv had, where people like it, you know, Mordhaus has that too. It's just not being structured in a way where it's enjoyable, but it's easily, you know, put together with like 1 or 2 good modders. And for people who are saying, you know, there's way too much cancer in the game, like, you can always restrict it. You know, no one's saying that you know, you have to use a toolbox, you have to use smoke bombs, ballista horses, javelins, or whatever. There's a ballista in Dark Forest. There's a catapult in Dark Forest. The only things is that the ballista's static and the catapult's static. Whereas in Mortal, obviously, the ballista, technically, you can make a mini one with the toolbox.
Yeah,
and then
but it's not that
you
good,
can move
though.
everywhere. Yeah, it's not good.
No, but like, it's good for objectives if you can like make them like shoot fire arrows and objectives and stuff like that. Then they obviously, you know, for doors and shit. But yeah, I agree. Like, innovating some of the game modes that is already existing for a comp would be a lot of fun. And I do agree that the test map for, you know, Invasion was really fun. I played on it a couple of times myself, and I watched some tourneys on it. It was very good fun, actually, and I enjoyed it. And it was also a lot of fun, like, as a viewer, seeing how, like, what kind of strategies people would pull to kind of, you know, do something new with it. Because there was this one Russian team at one point that just fucked the entire shit up so hard. They were so creative with how they played it, and they really ran, like, good teams into the ground with it. You know, based on playing the objectives in an efficient way rather than just killing people holding it off. But yeah, there's actually one thing I want to shout out real quick. Skalagrad. I really love what you guys are doing with that, and I think they were kind of innovating a little bit, making that system. There's a lot of opportunities with that you can build off of, and you know, it's a great concept, really. So shout out for doing something different and making it more efficient what we already have. I think it's going to be very good for the game, like in the longer term. Is it going to make the game popular again? Is it going to revive the game? No, but it's going to give people a better option for what we already have. So that's good. Yes.
No, I agree. Like, even what people are saying, man, like, the 2 complaints which I've seen are, I think one just said it was bad. Like, you know, you got to give a bit more criticism. One was he liked it, but Poge's team was stacked. Like, obviously, the thing is, make sure that no one has a stacked team. And then Caesar said it showed promise. Like that, like, it's in the name, man. It's by a test. Yeah. You're testing to see if it's good, and if you have like any sort of review which you want to do, you put it. But the thing is, like, I think it was against Oni's team when I was playing it. Like, they really hated it. And the reason why they hated it is because their team, or his team at least, was like filled with loads of jeweler boys. So, like, on the cart objective where you have to push the cart, no one was defending the cart. They were too busy just trying to team fight, trying to go for jewels, you know, get KD up. Because they're just, I don't know why, maybe because they didn't realize that you have to stop a cart being pushed, or maybe they just wanted to get good stats or whatever.
Yeah.
But because of that, they just got completely stomped on attack, and then defense was pretty much the same. And because of that, they were just like, I don't like it. The game's not fun. Blah blah blah. People just don't want to like get out of their comfort zone and test
No.
stuff. But at the same time, they're also like the same group of people who sometimes just go, the game's dead. Nothing's happening. The devs aren't releasing anything. We're stuck with the same old steely. Even though like there's
Yeah.
new innovative, if that's the word, stuff
Yeah.
like in front of you, but rather than just saying, how can we improve this? You just say, it's not working the first time, chuck it in the bin.
Yeah, true. I generally think that it goes like it's a bad mindset kind of thing that you see a lot in a lot of players. Like I avoided SKM for fucking months with like it was the fucking plague because I don't know how to play it and I'm still very bad at it. So I tilt easy and I rage quit easy in it because like if you're used to duels and you know like somewhat what to do, right? And you go and throw yourself into something that you have no experience in, and like team fighting switches, like backswings, awareness, not feeding, parries and all this kind of shit, double parries. Also just double parrying, triple parrying, all that kind of shit. It's a lot of stuff to take in if you're new to it, so I can understand why people get frustrated, but they gotta realize, well, it's not the game mode, it's you not adapting to it yet. And it's not that easy, it takes a lot of time, really. So for me, I'm trying to enjoy SKM as much as I can, but like some days I just don't have the mindset for it. It's too much of a hassle sometimes when there's like a lot of... Let's say that I join a game, then Give Breath comes in, Oni comes in, Poach comes in, Stouty comes in. I'm just... My fucking ass is just split open, It's super hard. Yeah, it's a struggle. Not only are they better than me, like on every plan, but they're also like they know how to play the game mode, and I'm confused. I'll get hit by a switch I had never imagined coming.
I mean, that's one of the other problems. Like, it's so small that it's just really like diluted. Like, the worst players like in the game in terms of comp are also like most likely are gonna have to play the best players. There's no like tiers anymore. Like, there used to be like high tier, mid tier, low tier, where like high tier would be teams like PK, VK, Frostwolves, Raven, VKB, Symbol, and all that. Then you had the mid tiers, which were like Lineage, DOA, Revival, whatever. And then you had like your really, really low tiers, which were like Lineage DC, like the mid tier D teams, B teams, all of that. And there was like there's just loads of teams where you could face people on your own level, and then if you wanted a chance, you could face teams above. But because there's not really any teams like that anymore, let alone, teams to scrim with, there's not really any teams of like the same tier anymore. So like, for example, it's just right now, like as in a team I'm called Fat, we had to play this team called Forklift Drivers B, like their B team. Like, although like it wasn't a super serious scrim or whatever, there's just a massive difference, and it's not like we can face people like on our tier at the moment because there's just no one on. So if there's anyone doing pugs, you either have the really sweaty tryhards who on, like you said, the Poges, the Onis, don't know how you put Give Bread in there. Yeah, the Bruno. And then you also have like the people who want to get better at the game. Like, for example, then you have like the Lineage boys. Like, there's always like Lineage people everywhere, man. They're like a plague. Like, they just don't fuck off anywhere. Like, they're just everywhere. It's not a bad thing, but like it's great to see that they are everywhere. But then they get put in this thing where they're against 8 S tiers, and they're not gonna have fun because they're just either gonna get stomped or they are gonna win, but they're not gonna do anything because their teammates are carrying them. And it's just going to be a point where they don't enjoy it. And then on the other side, where you got the really high tier players, they're not going to have fun because they're facing like these C tier, D tier players. True. And if they do have someone who's a D tier, C tier on their team, all which is going to happen is they're probably going to die instantly if it's like 2 S tiers and 2 C tiers, against each other or whatever. Like, their C tiers are probably going to die, and then the other C tier is going to die, and it's just going to be duels or something, or it's going to be a 2v1. There's never going to be like a proper competitive 2v2 just because like the difference between everyone is so big, and there's not enough of like each small tier.
No, I agree.
That you can just like segregate them into their own teams, which is just a big problem at the moment, and it's just a struggle to like get people the motivation to continue to play and to continue and to improve. Because like before, like the motivation was we want to be better than VK because VK are the best team. You know, yeah, they've had the advantage, but you know, we're the youngsters, we're the prodigies and whatever.
Yeah, the
and
underdogs.
impossible. Yeah, the underdogs. But either people just had the view of we can't beat them, therefore it's boring.
Yeah.
And nowadays, there's not even that. There's no one saying, yeah, I want to be as good as PK because they don't play. I want to be good as RG. They don't play. Like the only people who you're aiming to be better than now are like some mid to low tier teams. Like,
What about
there's just
forklift
nothing.
drivers, for example?
I mean, they don't play, man, and there's nothing to play with. MEL's dead because the organizer didn't have any casters, and I'm sure there was apparently some other reasons, like he was busy or something. But one of the reasons was there were no casters, and rather than asking everyone to cast, like people who he knew may cast, he spoke to a few people. And then that was it. And then when I tried to ask him, you know, I was like, you know, have you tried messaging like these sort of people? I just got replied with a sarky comment saying, oh, well, I didn't think of that, you know? It's like, so MEL's dead. Then All Stars tourney, you know, I don't think MBCC can be bothered hosting tourneys anymore. Then there's Mortal Fight Club, which never really blew off in EU, but in NA it's still working. There's just no tournaments either. There's no competitive play. And I think a lot of people now are a bit fed up with draft tourneys, especially because there's no crowns and there's no money. You're just playing for in-game gold and you just have a chance to be in some dog shit team with like a load of C tier, D tiers, who isn't a bad thing because there's loads of C tier, D tiers who I do like. It's just, you know, like the chances of you winning isn't going to be likely, especially when like someone's just got like some all B plus tier stack. It's like, wow, I guess I'm knocked out now. See you in like a few weeks time for it to happen again or something.
Yeah, I agree, and like I'm trying to do some more smaller scale tournaments that aren't like big scale, like the draft tourneys and stuff. I just don't have the experience to do that kind of stuff yet with it, but I would like to start doing something in that order in the future, right? With some help from other people in the community. But like the problem with hosting small stuff like 2v2s or like even like I did one dual tourney and people were like, oh, that's whack as fuck, but like 150 people were watching it, you know? And it was like it was actually good fun and people had fun with it. It was kind of scuffed, you know, my first tourney. But like the problem with doing these small things is that there's always gonna be those power duos or like those duelers that are just way beyond everyone else, and the newer people don't really have a chance to get in and have fun with it because they're just gonna get stomped out of existence. And it's very hard, you know, to make tournaments where you can get the newer players in on and like make them want to join in on it because they won't have a good experience with it, you know? It's very difficult. Like I'm if people ask me to play in a tourney, I'll say no most of the time, and then someone asks me if I want to cast it, I'm like, sure, because I know that if I join in, I'm gonna get my shit kicked in, and I don't want to join in being a liability either, you know what I mean? Like I would rather get some base understanding of the game mode before I went in and like team kill all the time and shit like that. So you don't want to be that guy in the team that throws the game either. Even if it's not a team that's gonna get far, you don't want to be that guy either. Cause it's just not fun being, you know, clowned live in front of like 100 people when you suck. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get you.
But I'm trying to get better, and I'll probably play in some tournaments this year, if someone wants to draft me, of course. Probably not. Yeah. I'll sell for 0, we take these.
Sure someone will. I'm sure someone will.
I mean, I know Gibred says he wants me to take, like, to have me on, but, like, then, you know, it's gonna be 0 points or some shit, or 2 points, I don't know. It's gonna be cursed as fuck. It's gonna be fun nonetheless. I'm sure I'm gonna enjoy myself in the tournament. It's just I just also want to not be like completely useless when I start, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. I mean, like there was this newcomer tourney which happens by I think Static Melee. They did a newcomers tourney, and like the aim was you'd get a team and you get like a group of captains, and basically these captains who are like comp veterans would coach these newcomers, and the aim is that the stack which you got put in for whatever, you know, they would then make their own teams, and then when they're in their own teams, you know, they can start facing off, because like I said, you know, there's not really any low tier versus low tier anymore. No. So no, that was going to be cool, but the problem is with that is what happened was load of people, like rather than like playing with their current teammates, like the first of all, it was a bit shambolic because the people who won already had teams. They were mainly lineage players. Like most of them were from lineage, I think C, and then another group of team was already in Ace, and then another group of team was in like another thing like that. That's not being a newcomer, and they sort of got allowed that. If you get what I mean, because they weren't like super good, but because they already had the experience of playing with each other, they just rolled through the tourney.
Yeah, true.
And then the team which I coached, which me and Sunglasses coached, they lost the final because of it. And then the people who like were in those teams, because they lost and they were like, well, these guys are in teams, they just left for those teams, man. Like, I don't hate lineage, but at the same time, I feel like they can't just keep on grabbing new players for their teams. They need to like have some sort of independency, because lineage already has their reputation, you know. They have their development plan, and like lineage is sort of like an internal process, whereas like the entertainment of having your own team, making your own logo, having your own name, you know, organizing a scrim and getting your own reputation as a brand new team, like it doesn't happen anymore because everyone's just always joining like FDB, Lineage B, Lineage C, Lineage D, Ace B, you know, potentially PKB, RGB, you know, like everyone's joining B teams where those teams already have the reputation. Like, just make your own independent team. Like, I'd love to see another new like static melee tourney where you can't be in a fucking team, you know, before you like when you sign up. And if you are in a team, it has to be like someone no one's heard of, you know, like if you're in, I don't know, fucking Viking Axe Blood Gods, you know, yeah, sure, you can sign up. But even teams like Lineage and stuff, you've already got the competitive experience and coaching there for you to be able to play. And if in the group of people who you were playing the tourney with, if they're already in those teams, you're now going to be missing one or two members from your stack, and then just no one's going to make a team because of it.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think it's healthy for small teams to be created and like find their way around it. Not only does it, you know, allow people to have fun playing on their terms and scrim and get experience that way, but it opens up for chances of more scrims and more, you know, teams signing up for tourneys, and there being underdogs that are from like unknown organizations. It's always the same fucking teams that end up fighting, or like, you know, every player from every fucking team, you know, there's nothing new ever. I would like to see some more newcomers tournaments as well, and I'm actually considering joining or like trialing for like some you know, some lower, like super low tier team, just so I can get some scrims. But I generally have no clue what I should go for, to be honest, and I don't really want to join lineage because of the reason that you just said. Because I think it would be more fun to make your own, but it's also kind of hard to make your own team when you don't really know your way around like the comp scene and that kind of stuff. I don't know very many new comp players, and all the good players obviously are taken, and why would they join some shitters team that doesn't know how to play it, you know what I mean? So it's kind of rough.
I mean, the thing is though, like a couple of things. First, to Stolly's question, saying it's hard to start your own team if you don't know anyone in the scene. Like, if we have another newcomers team, man, like if there's 12 like new teams which sign up and 6 of them stay with each other, that's already 5 more teams than most people nowadays can face each other with the same tier in. You know, like, you've already got 5 completely new D tier teams you can play with. Like, for you, Sloth, I just recommend you making your own team. Like,
I mean, I've been trying for fucking 2 weeks, and I have like 2 people for trials, and like I have, like, if it's still on, I don't even know if it's on. It's like me and Skits and Gebret, and like I have maybe 2 for trials.
Holy shit. Right, well, that's not a newcomer team.
No, it's not a newcomers team, but I would like to practice with someone that also knows what they're doing to some extent, because they can teach me. And like Skits and Gebret have good synergy together, right? And they're both like kind of cunts, so it's also funny to play with them, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Yeah, I said it, Gebret, you're a cunt, and you know it.
No, yeah, like I don't know. I just feel like that the potential is there, but just people are lazy, man. They're just lazy people. They don't want to go around recruiting members and advertising it. Like, look at Bobvlog.
Yeah.
I'm not sure like 100%, but I'm pretty sure like Red Rum Bandits was like made through his community of like his like streaming audience and shit, and people trolled because they watched his stream and was like, oh, this is a cool team, how do I join it? Like, if you continue to stream, like, all you have to do is just find a guy in a Juilliard who's fucking you up or whatever, and be like, hey, Are you in a team? And they'll be like, yes or no. And if they say no, well, are you interested in joining comp? Join my team. And
Yeah.
because you are a streamer, you already have links to people, man. Like just looking at your chat now, like comp players, you got Kingfisher, you got Visceral Wanker, Gift Bread, Despacito. Like all of them know comp players, man. All of them know
Yeah,
comp
true,
teams. Some of them are in comp teams. Like it's really fucking easy to join the comp scene. Like, is it easy to get good? No, of course not, man. Like, you
I
think
don't know, man. I think it's actually quite hard because a lot of the time when I am playing POX, I don't ever. It's rare that I see actual comp players in my streams when I am playing SKM and shit. It's mainly when I do something like this that they come by, actually. Like, it's when I do, like, tournaments or, like, these podcasts and with people that they, like, want to watch, like, you know, Flame or, like, you know, Lord and stuff. That's when they come. But
Yeah.
when I'm actually streaming it, I don't really see that many comp players in. So I have a hard time, like, getting connected with those the way I would like to. And I really want to get in the comp scene and get to know people and get invited to in-houses and scrims more. I got invited to my first in-house like a couple of days ago, and I had so much fun with it. Like the best time I've had playing SKM ever. And you also play much better because you did you know, it's chill, it's voice chat, everyone's having fun, and there's no tilt, you know. Like there was no tilt when we played, and we played for an hour and a half or so, which was very fun.
Like the thing is, like, you don't have to wait for people to come to you, man. Like, you go to them. Like, if you message someone like Xeon or whatever, just like any advice on how to play, like people like that, they're not gonna flame you. They're not gonna be like, oh fuck off, sloth, you no name, you know.
Yeah. I
you
know. It's
shut up,
just
prick.
you know.
Like, just literally message anyone, and like I can guarantee you 9 times out of 10, if anything, they're gonna be very eager to like help your team out and like link your team to like another new team. Because if everyone starts doing this, any new team just like messages a comp player, like it's really easy just to make a Discord. Because there used to be one. There used to be a Discord where everyone would just, you know, talk to each other and, you know, they just ping each other and everyone to have scrims. But there isn't one now. But like, if this newcomer tourney happened, like it'd just be really nice. Like it'd be nice to have new players, and it'd be nice to help these new players and help the new people who want to get into comp. Like we're not toxic. Like the only people who like people find are toxic are people you find in Juilliard, and in Juilliard's for a reason. If they had a team, they wouldn't be in there flaming your dead mum and your nan pile of ashes or whatever the fuck, you know. They'd be playing. They'd be playing with your like with their team or whatever, and they'd be really friendly. Like,
not all the time. Like there is obviously some times where teams like kind of break up because there's that one controversial player that kind of ruins the team spirit. You know, it's happened before. I'm not super into it, but I've heard about it. You know, like fuck, I can't remember the situation of who it was, but there was one guy on one team at some point that was like so toxic that people just ended up for saying like honestly can't be bothered with it. But I can't remember what it was. There was some fuck. What was that? Can you guys do you guys know what I mean? Was it RedBlue? I don't think. No, but there was it's old news. There was some team not the big team, I think.
I mean, loads of teams do that, man. Like Ruben, the guy who made Essence, like he did that, man. Like he decided that he didn't like Lineage anymore. He left. He took some players and he made their own team. Bear's done it for Toxic. People left him. Storm's done it, where like they kicked Slayer hands, and then loads of other Russians from Storm decided to leave. Like loads of teams, like always have this like. You know, like people leaving and rejoining, but it's not that like common. Like it's a rare thing to say that you don't want to make a new team because, you know, you're worried that it's going to disband. Like it's fine,
No, I
man.
mean, I don't mind if I made a team and it disbands, like, because the entire thought process for me making a team is not that it's going to be winning tournaments or that I'm going to like be a fucking hotshot and like slaughter people like Oni and Bruno. That's not going to happen, right? It's mainly the fun of scrimming, learning to play the game, get to know the players, and like get integrated with the community. It's literally the only thing I really care about. And shit, if I can do somewhat well in some tourneys, that would be awesome. But you know, like tournaments is not the goal for me in that sense of winning them, or you know, it's just having fun with it, really, getting into it.
Well, tournaments are non-existent right now, so you don't have to be worrying about that anytime soon.
No, that's the thing, right? And you know, like. They're like you cast tournaments sometimes, right?
Yeah. If I get asked to cast it, I will.
Yeah.
I don't hesitate doing it. Like I don't know why people don't fucking message me for anything. Like
No.
they just think, I don't know, that I'm gonna bully them or something. Like loads of people would love to cast,
It's
but
fun.
they just like always choose the selective one. Yeah, it is
Yes,
fun.
it's very true. It is very true. Like I feel like whenever I get asked to cast something, like people will ask me. Actually, like it's kind of frequent that I get asked to cast something now, way more than the first time, and I'm really happy for that. But I'm always like third or fourth down the line. You know what I mean? It's like if Soft can't cast and. And there's 2 servers, they will ask a couple bunch of people, and then they'll eventually ask me, and I'm like, sure, why not? But it's not. You have to be really good at it. You have to be well integrated in the community for people wanting to watch you cast as well. And I do think for me, it's been a good opportunity to like be a part of the comp scene to some extent without like playing with the comp players. As you know, as I said, it is kind of hard to get in. It's very closed, like on the higher levels, right? So like playing with those people, it is hard.
It's not closed, man.
No, it is
where
kind of
do you
closed.
get this information from? Who told you it's closed? If you asked an active top tier team to scrim, like, have you ever done that? Like, who says that it's closed? Like,
I don't have a
this.
team to scrim with though, so it's kind of hard.
Yeah, but how do you know it's closed? Like, who's saying it's closed? Like,
it's like with pucks and stuff like that as well. Like it's kind of
comp, man. You can't compare pugs, which is a public game, to a competitive scrim.
There is like closed pucks and viewer pucks and all that kind of stuff with all the streamers and shit. And obviously you'll have to separate. Like you can't have like 100 fucking people joining in and stuff. But I feel like some of the people I have asked to join in, like to try and like get myself in the door. For example, for Lord, right? He plays a lot of the same like bunch of people that they're like this title group. I try to get in on it, and sometimes I have been allowed to get in, but there's also times where it's like we want to play like serious and like on a higher level, and I respect that. That's fair, but I feel a little shy about asking getting in, getting a foot in the door, because I feel like if I join and I'm dog shit, it's kind of reliability, Does that make sense?
Yeah, I get it. Like the thing is though, it's not closed because of competitiveness. It's not closed because you're not a top tier player. It's like the only reason why it can be closed is because it's like it's a friendship circle.
Yeah.
Like it's just like more of a coincidence that most of the top tier players now are all friends with each other. Not because like we hate new players, but it's just because we've all been here long enough that like literally like if you look like a year and a half ago, like everyone knew each other then, and everyone's speaking to each other then, and we all happened to be top tier at that time. Like you could say that like for the same for lower tier people. Like if you like started to speak to them and you were nice, like shit, not even like you were nice to them, but like if you were in the friend zone, you'd be invited regardless of skill. Like people like Dan play
that's
like,
true.
in these private pugs, and Dan's a load of dog shit. Like it's not to do with comp tier, it's just to do with friendship circles.
Yeah,
and
that's true. I think that's what I kind of get mixed up a little bit with that, because like obviously when there are these like friend groups, there's always this, like they will play like in a group, and it's not always a spot for someone. And I it's not that it never happens that people ask me to come scrim or in-house or play, and like if I have the time or I'm free for it, like I always say yes. So it's getting better, but like when I just started, literally like every single time I pucked, my viewers just dropped to half and no one came in, and I was kind of like, I could wait in a fucking puck lobby for like 20 minutes without seeing a single person. And now it's not the case anymore. If I join a server that's empty, it will like fill up in like 15 minutes. So it's definitely getting better, and I'm glad that it's slowly opening more up for opportunities to play with people. Like when I play with people like CNS, those kind of guys, or RedBlue and Bruno, like I learn a lot from just watching them play and playing with them, and I can feel that my like teamwork aspect of the game, I'm getting better at that slowly. So I'm having a lot of fun with it. Really, it's just like when some people join to tilt you, and that happens when you stream sometimes, and if you're bad and they're good, then it's just fucking cancer. It really cancer, like in pucks. It can be the worst. I'm looking at you, get breath.
I mean, fuck 'em, man. Fuck their haters. But I feel like one of the problems, which you said, is you're waiting for people to ask you. Like in Mortal, this seems so dead. Like, don't wait for people to ask you. You go to them. Like, have you heard of the player Toady at all?
No.
All right. Well, Toady was he's a Elite 5 jeweler boy. Hold on, I got to turn this off. One sec.
Yeah, all good. Yeah, I'm trying to do some more tourneys. I'm thinking I'll probably I might do a tournament next month with a small prize pool of money. Usually when I do a tournament, I do it with my own, money. Because in-game gold, again, is something that new players want. No one gives a fuck if they get like, oh, I get 50 gold. Nice, I'll add it to my 5 million,
Hey, I'm back. I got ganked.
You got ganked.
It was very unfortunate. But shit, where was I? Okay,
Not that.
Toady.
Don't wait for it. Yeah.
Toady. Yeah. So, Toady was a creature, man. Like when he first came in, man. He was a fucking creature. Like, anytime like there'd be a pug, he'd know the password and he would just join all the time and he'd sit in spec. Like, he was a complete weirdo. And the thing is, like, him and loads of other players, man, they just join and they'd wait, and then eventually they'd be asked to join because people left or whatever. And then when they joined, people got to know him, people started to talk to him, and then Toady ended up being in a VKB. He ended up being an Elite 5, and he ended up being a sick player.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing which, like, you and all other new players do, man. Just join and just be patient. Like, most of the time, if there is a pug, it's probably with a friendship group. It's not with a tier circle. People won't analyze you and be like, this person's D tier. They can't play. You know. They're just going to be like, I don't know this guy, so, he can't play. But if you just wait there, you're nice to people, you talk to them or whatever, then, it's completely fucking fine, man. Don't wait for people. Take your own initiative, man. Be the strong man.
To be fair, right? To be fair, though, if there is a pug or something, or like an in-house, I will go in, I'll spec, and obviously if it's a scrim or something, you can't play unless someone leaves early and they say, there's a spot, if you want it, you can take it. I do join pugs and wait, and I'll just ask, if there's a spot, can I join in? And then I'll wait for someone to rage quit or go about their day and stuff like that, and just play, It's not that I don't ever do that, I do that a lot, but, obviously, it's not that I am waiting for people to type to me in order to play. I do play on my own, and I do make... I do a lot of pucks myself that I start and people join in on as well. It's more the fact that, it would be nice, to play enough with people to kind of start getting invited. I'm trying to do it, but, it's not that I'm waiting for people to ask to play. I will usually just start it myself and hopefully get to know some people. So I'm starting to do it more. I'm playing pucks every day now, usually, and people always ask me to play pucks, and I usually don't want to, but I'm starting to enjoy it way more now, and I'm doing it every day. So hopefully in the future we are reintegrated in this bit,
Good.
But it's very fun. It's very fun. It's mainly pucks right now. I'll have to join a team or make my own to do the scrims and stuff. But it's something that I'm planning on, and it will happen sometime in the future, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
All right. So
I hope after this you're gonna make your own team, man.
I'm trying right now, but it's kind of hard,
You call it like
sometimes.
sacred sneaky sloths. You're gonna make it a sick team.
I swear to God.
CEO and just say, look, guys, I'm recruiting. I'm a famous Twitch Mordhaus streamer. Don't you worry. And then there you go. You'll get at least 20 or so DMs.
I have literally put it in there. I have literally been posted in servers that I'm recruiting for a team and shit. There's no one coming.
Man. Change your name to Giru or the Rocky or Bruno, and then post, I'm recruiting for my brand new team. And then boom, there you go. You're gonna have a 5-stack. You then scrim lineage D until you're good enough for lineage C, then B, then A, and then you can go on to all the other good teams.
Yeah. True. Actually, big brain move right there.
It's actually insane. Yeah.
Okay, so to get back to more less comp based talk. Okay. What's your view on the Morehouse community as a whole, overall? I ask this to every single Morehouse player that comes on, because I think that everyone has a take that is kind of worth being heard on that. So what do you think overall?
Morehouse community, I think it's a toxic shitfest full of over ego losers who have no social skills and awareness. However, most people who I know personally, which is a small amount since it's the comp scene,
Mm-hmm.
you know, because
Yeah.
it's a comp scene. There's only like 1% of people there. Actually, they're nice guys. They're nice guys. But no, like all in all, seriously, I think now the community's sort of been purged of most of like the autistic people, like
Yeah.
the retards and shit in comp anyway. In pubs, like you're always gonna get someone who's just gonna be funny and bomb the N word, or just
Yeah.
flame someone, be like, oh my god, like I think I was playing like at 4 a.m. at some point in Invasion, and I was doing well. I was top scoring in that, and a guy managed to kill me. And then he just kept on replying to me, and I was like, "Oh, I don't know. I managed. I can't believe I killed you, Derpa." And I was like, "What do you mean?" And I was like, "Well, not to be mean to you or whatever, but I feel like a level 200 shouldn't, die instantly to me, or you shouldn't die to me." And I
You
was
hear
like,
that a lot.
"Right,
True.
okay." And then like loads of other people come up being like, "Oh my god, you're level 200 and you have 10 deaths. Gosh, you're so bad."
True.
Like people like them, they're gonna be anywhere. But like
true.
in general, like the comp now, like I love this comp community, man.
I think I do think like with Mortal World, there's like the good side of it, and there's obviously the very bad one. And it's just the problem with it is that the bad side of it is the loudest. Like you don't really notice if someone's being really nice and helpful. And if you go into a duel, you ought to say, "Yo, can someone please help me learn Drax if you're new?" Like people step up and like, "Yeah, sure." Sure, like I've done that fucking 50 times or some shit like that on stream. Just helping some level 20 guy like get the basics. Obviously not super advanced, but like the basic stuff. Chambers, Drax, cells, stuff like that. And I think that the entire community is either it's just autistic screeching in chat and big egos, or it's the helpful people like Ahoy, for example, right? Shady, those like players like that, they're set the bar really highly for the community. People should strive to act like that, because I generally think a sensei as well, they're really nice. They help people out. Like Ahoy pretty much coached me, like just like by just saying, "Yo, let's go voice chat and practice," and stuff like that. Lizard too, and those kind of players is the people that I really appreciate in the community, because they're helpful. Even though you're like, I'm level 211 or some shit, I'm still kind of dog, but like at some stuff. It's not that I'm completely trash, but like I'm not great or super good either. It's like that kind of middle ground. I know my way around, but I'm not insane at any part of the game. So like people wanting to help you even though you played a lot is like a good thing to see. I think in a lot of other games people just flame the fuck out of you if you did bad. Like if you're like have 200 levels in League, or like you're fucking diamond and you die on mid lane or some shit, like people will fucking go ape on you. You don't see that nearly as much in Mordhaus. I feel like people are very helpful. So
yeah,
like,
no, I agree.
So it's good. But yeah, like the toxic people in Mordhaus, like they're so toxic that it's like super overextensive, to the point where it's just kind of like, okay, this guy is kind of, he's born with half a brain.
Yeah. It's like the point of, how do you say, like you could do 500 things right, but you'll always get criticized for the one thing you do wrong.
Absolutely.
And that's like Mortown, it's like everything in general. Like I could list 100 things which, the comp community's done for each other, and like streamers and shit.
Yeah.
But no one will ever take like consideration of that. They'll always just see like comp is toxic. You have red blueberries. He calls me dog animal. You have bear. He dogs me. Or Strike say he come to my house and Molotov me. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah,
They'll just focus on that. They won't focus on the fact that we've coached new players. People like Guru did VK Academy. We've done like we've hosted all of our tournaments. Every single tourney has been hosted by players, not by organizations, not by the companies. We have like a really, really large like circle of community, like the Baba Boys, like just there's everyone, like everyone's in there, everyone's always nice and friendly in there, and like people don't notice that. All they just notice is this person said N-word, or this scene is dead, this scene is bad, blah 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 blah. It's like fuck off, I don't care.
Yeah, I mean,
shut up.
I agree with that, and I think it's like it's kind of a bad look, really. But it's like that's just gaming in general, really. You see it in every game. It's just a shame. Like Mordhaus, like looking outwards toward the rest of the world has such a bad reputation. People making videos on it being like level 10 and flaming if everything wrong with it without having any game knowledge and shit like that. It's just there was this one YouTuber that had the worst take ever that everyone just went ape shit over because he had like a pretty big phone. You guys know what I mean? There was this one YouTuber that made like a video on Morehouse. It's all about like it being too racist and this is the problem. And yeah. You remember, right? Like everyone that played the game for a long time was just like, it's a shame, really. I mean, yeah, there's a ton of fucking racist shit going on in the game, but like there would be in any other game had it not had like bannable features where you get fucking banned for saying it. Like League of Legends, like early on, was probably the biggest creature game I ever saw. They were literally like I couldn't count on both hands and feet if I had 10 of each. The amount of times I've had people say, "I hope you fucking die in a car crash," or "Your mom gets raped," or some fucked up shit. Like it's fucking terrible. Okay, so what would you say is Mordhaus' biggest strengths and flaws? Name 2 things, for example.
Okay, so I'll start with flaws. We'll start negative and we'll go to positive.
Yeah.
Mortal's biggest flaw, Triturnian, for one.
Yeah.
Is definitely its biggest flaw.
Yep.
And then the second one, I'd probably say Jeweler Boys. Okay. Are the 2 biggest weaknesses.
I feel personally attacked.
Mortal. Okay. Fine. Over-egoed Jeweler Boys.
Yeah, okay, yeah. That's fair.
Those are the 2 bad ones.
Mm-hmm.
Then the 2 good ones, veteran community.
True.
I'd like to say.
Yeah.
Because if you're still playing the game now and you've been here for a good few years, chances are that you're a nice guy because you either would have rage quit already if you were toxic, and if you haven't rage quit, then you're definitely not like a good vet. You're probably like some washed up guy who never reached it, which is why you're always so angry at everyone.
True.
And then another one, I'd say just the general community, man.
Yeah.
Clearly everyone has a load of good dedication. Like this game hasn't been updated in donkeys, man.
Yeah, true.
Just so long, but there's just still like a group of people who still play. Like there's role players who like do massive 50 versus 50 battles in epic battlegrounds. Then still there's always like a good 4 or 5 servers like for Invasion and Frontline which are full. Duel yards are always full. Like people are still dedicated to the same old boring bland game, and you know that's also a strength, man. It's clearly a dedicated community, I suppose.
No, I 100% agree with that. I think that was 2 very valid points on both sides, really. This one is a little bit of a bigger question, really. Do you think Morehouse has any kind of future, or should we look to other titles like Ad Mortem, Renown, Contingent? Fuck, Stouty's fucking game. I can't pronounce that. Contingent?
Okay, so Stouty's game, no way. If Stouty's balancing it, the game's going to be absolute dog wank. Ad Mortem, I believe, is the future of Melee Slasher. It's a pretty fucking good game, most likely. I'm sure it's going to come out and it's going to just blow up everything. You know, I've heard some good things about it. Project Renown is also an interesting one.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that it's just going to be a new way of Melee Slasher. Like the thing is, I feel like Renown and Ad Mortem are going to be 2 different types of Melee Slasher.
Oh yeah.
So they're not going to be comparable, you know, because I think Project Renown's like what a Rust Melee Slasher style game. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure Ad Mortem's like not going to be anything like that. I don't know because I don't know.
No,
anything about the game.
From what I understand, it's built around comp and like competitive play in general.
Like epic story and lore and shit like that.
Yeah.
But I feel like Mortal will always have a community. I wouldn't say just abandon ship, because there's always going to be just a certain niche you'll find in Mortal which you're not going to find anywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
Like its 240 combat's pretty good. Like the general like mechanic of it is good. They kind of ruined it by adding shit like chambers and just completely isolating the point of swing manipulation which 240 was meant to bring.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like I doubt any game before and any game in the future is going to have that sort of mechanic to it. Like yeah. So I'd say just keep a hold of Mortal. Like maybe it'll blow up again. Maybe like EA or some shit are gonna buy it, but probably
Fuck
not.
no. Fuck no. There's no chance in hell. Like, let's be real. Even if fucking someone like consider buying it, I don't think they would take it. Like when you fucking ghost RedBlue, no, not RedBlue, Red Bull and shit. Red Bull. You know, and leave them on fucking red when they say esports win and shit like that. You like the company just seems like a fucking meme to the community, and honestly, I don't think even fucking EA would manage to save it. I actually think it would be off worse, to be completely honest, for the microtransactions and like anti fucking player base aspects they have, making, you know, it's all about making money, you know.
Yeah,
so. You know, maybe like if another studio, like another indie studio with a bigger team took it over, I do think it would have potential, but chance of that happening would be quite small, I think. But it would be good for the community as well, having someone interested in reviving comp and expanding game modes, giving it an overhaul and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Stuff that they're already wanting to do to some extent, some of it at least. Like the combat overall and stuff like that, it's just gonna take forever to execute it. Small team, you know. So yeah. I also think that the fact that the community is so like it's a huge gap in between like the duelers and the SKM, and then the more casual play frontlines, horde, invasion. You know, it's like what you want for balance from both sides of that is completely different, and what us dueler boys and SKM players want is something that they're not even thinking about on the other side, because they don't play the game like we do. Like shit, like whenever I've seen past horses nerfed, catapult nerfed, I'm like, oh yes, I mean cool, I don't give a fuck though. To be completely honest, you know, it doesn't affect me at all. I wouldn't touch frontline like for 10, you know, feet stick. It's just I don't care for it at this point, you know. So I think that's kind of what makes it be super slow in development, is that both sides are conflicting in what they want and they have to please everyone. There's obviously more of a casual community at this point than there are like diehard veterans, you know. There's more of those level 20, 40, 80 players that play frontlines only and invasion than there is of the rest, really. So yeah, it's kind of hard.
Yeah.
So I actually have some questions about you streaming as well, because I don't think that should go unnoticed. Okay. So you know, you obviously stream here on Twitch. Most people know you, and if you don't, go and check Derpa out. He's a homie. Well, like, what's your experience been with that, like as a whole, streaming?
I think it's pretty cool. I don't think I've reached the popularity yet, where I don't really know the majority of people who watch my chat. I feel like it's more of just like a small community than like a Twitch product. Like I'm just doing it because it's fun, and then I can just create some funny, epic moments. I'm not. I wouldn't say I'm doing it for any sort of career. And like if you do watch me, like most of the people who do watch me, I'm already good friends with, which is like the majority of my viewers. I think the only times I ever get like people I don't know is when people like, for example, you raid me or Stouty raids me. I would say Giru, but Giru never raided me, even though he claims he did. He didn't. And then,
Shots fired, Giru.
Yeah.
You better raid him now.
Shit like that, man. Like, if I get raided, then like, I'll have a few randoms. But most of the time, they either lurk or they don't stick around.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, right, I completely understand. You know, I streamed Morehouse for a year before I reached like 7 average viewers, and now from January I starting growing like somewhat faster, and now it's kind of a stalemate again. But like I went from having around these 5 to 10 average viewers after like a year, to now being around 25, 30, which for me is very good. But it's, again, like I'm not one of the big dogs in here at all. But like people know of me, but a lot of people don't like me, which you know, fair enough. Kind of, to some extent, I understand. So you know,
each to their own, man.
Yeah, I remember playing with you every day. Then I actually like you are one of the players that I have very fun memories getting to learn more how and play with people. You and Retroxicity and Shots and some of the others. and Shady as well. Actually, it was one of those that got me to stay on the grind for Morehouse actually. And you know, you were in there every single day, so you know that was it's good shit, really. Okay, so how is it? What's it like streaming Mordhaus, like in particular? Like, do you get a lot of like trolls or like a lot of hatred, or is it mainly just chill people when you stream?
I'd say it's mainly chill, to be honest. I do get stream sniped if I go ranked, but at the same time, like, I know what I'm signing up for when I search rank. Because, like I said before, I know that I'm not a fantastic fucking jeweler. Like, I'm maybe like Elite 3 or Elite 4 at best if I crutch like Evening Star or something.
That's not bad,
but
though.
I mean, yeah, it's still not bad, but like, because most of the viewers are like my friends, and because most of my friends who are on Mortal are all like high tier players, like most of them could fucking farm me anyway.
Yeah.
So like I'll go on and then I'll just get like some Smurfs who are like better than me, like snipe me, which is I'm fine with, because at the end, like, it's what I'm doing, it's entertainment.
Yeah.
I don't mind getting sniped because I'll make sure that it's entertaining, at least that I do get sniped. I'm not gonna cry about it. You know, if I win, I win. If I lose, I lose. Like, if you still care about Elo in July, then you know that's on you, to be honest. That's not on me.
Actually, true.
Like,
true.
It's lost so much significance, just like the crowns, like, which people got in comp. Like, it doesn't really matter, but it's a good thing to put in titles, man. You know, like dueling.
Yeah, fuck yeah, dude. Elite 5
like
crown winner.
Doing rank duels, then I'll get like an increase of like 20 or so views. And if I just put something like pugs, and you know, I'll drop views, or you know, I won't have as many as before, because people like that. You know, they like someone tilting. I feel like every time I tilt, which is rare because I'm a pretty cool, calm, and collected person, or like at least if I shit talk someone, I'll get a bit more views. You know.
Yeah, I mean, I get that, and it takes a lot of time in games like Morehouse to actually grow. Even though some, like, you know, it takes a long time to get recognized in the game, especially, like, let's say you're not the dueler boy as much, you know, you play mainly skirmish and shit. If you played more dual servers, you grow off that as well, and that's kind of, you know, the thing, right?
Yeah.
The audiences are very split, you know, and the bigger streamers, they hold most of the viewers as well. So, like, you know, but even though a lot of people cross-watch, they will always have preferences. So, let's say I stream, and then Lord streams, I lose half my viewers instantly. And then again, I get that. Lord is a very entertaining guy, and there's no hatred for that at all. Like, I genuinely understand that. So it's like building that base of like viewers that stick around takes a long time and effort, but you know, if you keep grinding, it will definitely come, like, over time. And how many viewers you usually have when I watch you? Is like 20 something, 20?
Yeah, I'd say around that. Probably, maybe even less if you're streaming, or like Lord's streaming, because like it would just be the same people who watch me and the same people who watch you guys. So you guys will like just pop off with that, and then I just like scavenge it afterwards with like the hosts or the raids or something.
Yeah, I mean, like, raids help me a lot as well. It is actually something that definitely helps. Like, I raided like 2 channels before I started with Morehouse, and I think I raided like almost 100 now, like 96 or something. And like, I have auto host on by a lot of like the streamers on here, like Ruben, you, Dunset, I think even RedBlue, and like some other people. Like, I want the community on Twitch to do well, because it benefits not me, but like the overall Twitch experience. And a lot of people don't really see new streamers, so unless you make an effort to share their content, they won't necessarily find you unless there's no one else streaming, you know. Like, if I see a Flame stream or Lord stream, and there's like the free viewer streamers, I'm not gonna check those out. I'm gonna go to Lord's channel, you know, every time, just because I know him and I know I'm gonna have fun with that. And it's kind of a shame, really, with the smaller streamers that they don't get that chance. But on the other hand, like, you have to be integrated. That's just how it works with these kind of games. So, like, I try and raid every single stream if there's someone to raid and do all that kind of stuff, because I think it's important to, you know, there's not many streamers and content creators for Mordhaus, you know, like, there's not that many, at least in comparison to other games. Sharing the love is very important for me, because it helps not only, you know, yourself, but it also helps others. And it's always nice being nice to other people, in my opinion. I mean, I do get tilted like a motherfucker when I stream sometimes, you know. But I try and be a good example, even though I'm not. I'm really fucking not. I'm so toxic sometimes, and I fucking just can't help it.
Everyone has those.
It's not good, man. Yeah, I mean, like people like Dunn said, you know, he's like he's a pillar of like being wholesome, you know, in this community. He honestly don't get the viewers he should. Like he's such a nice guy. Okay, I have some questions about you, like in particular. So, what are your plans for the future?
In general, or
Yeah,
specifically Mortal, man?
No, just in general.
So I'm at uni at the moment. I'm doing accounting and finance. I've done my first year, so I've got 2 more years to go. So for the next 2 years, it's just going to be studying, and then whenever I'm like at home for summer holidays, I'm just gonna like stream, I suppose. I'll try and like get on Mordhaus every now and then, but most of the time I'm just not gonna have time because at uni you just get no time for anything, especially if you want to be like
very true.
Sociable. Like there is a guy who was in my flat before who wasn't sociable, and he'd be on his computer 24/7. But like if you just have any sort of social skills, like you're just gonna find that you just have no time.
True.
Like normally my day would just be waking up, doing my lectures, going to like training, like trying to grab some food last minute, and then like spending time with my girlfriend or something, and then that's just my day. Like maybe I'll be able to fit in maybe like an hour of Mordhaus, which is like 1 scrim, but like none which is like worth it, and none which is improvable. It just like sort of like, what's the word? Just keeps my skill on par with what it is. Like there's no improving, but there's just no degrading. It's just meh. And then if the scrim's shit, so you're playing like some boring team like Void, who comes like 30 minutes late, it's also just a waste of time, and it's not fun.
Yeah, I mean, that's really sucks when you have limited time. Like, I have all the time in the world, that's why I'm grinding so hard. Like, I fucking stream every day. Like, I miss like a day or two every month. Like, I'm such a fucking creature. But, like, that's the thing, right? People that don't have the time for that, it sucks when people waste your time by not showing up for something, and, like, you know, you enjoy it more when you have it more limited as well, I think, to be completely honest.
Yeah.
You know, you don't burn out the same way, so you have more fun with it. Yeah. Okay.
With
So uni is the focus. I respect that. That's good. You know, obviously you want a plan in life. Like I'm just a fucking train wreck. So like I respect that. I mean,
you got your own hustle. You got your hustle in your own way. Like as long as you put in the hours, like you're gonna get something back. Who knows? You'll just have an influx of like 3K viewers at some point. Don't you worry. Or just view bot like Rekid. One of the two.
It's always an option. But yeah, maybe. Yeah. I don't know. Like you know, I obviously love to make a living off of Twitch. I don't expect it, but I grind towards it, and if it happens, it happens. If not, you know, then it is what it is.
Yeah.
So, what's a good life in your opinion? Like, what would be a good life, a perfect life?
Not having to work, man. Like working's so much pain. Like I worked for like fucking what? I think I worked for 5 years before I went to uni. Like during the time I was at college and shit. Just like having to know that like most of your life is just working for like the week or so you get off to enjoy your life is just shit. Like so the best life would just be having that financial stability to then do things which you enjoy. Like just doing your hobbies and stuff. Like if I had like all the money in the world, I know lots of people say once you have money you don't enjoy it anymore or whatever, but I think that's a load of wank.
Yeah, fuck
like
that.
If you have a lot of money, like you don't necessarily not have to work. Like for the people who don't work because they have like daddy's money or whatever, you know, fuck them. You know, that's your fault. But I wouldn't mind like doing something I enjoy and working for it. Like whether or not that could be streaming, because you know streaming is fun. Whether or not it's just working like just like with something you enjoy. Like if, for example, I like music, I wouldn't mind like working with something in music if it meant it was like getting paid jack shit. Like as long as like the hours were flexible, like I couldn't give a shit because I'm not exhausting myself, I'm not getting tired with it, but I'm doing something, you know, my mind's focused on it. I'd love to travel the world, I'd love to like meet up with everyone, you know, love to like take my girlfriend out somewhere romantic and know that like wherever I take whoever, like wherever I can afford it. Whereas like working is just like, can I afford this? Shit, no, you know, can I get rent for this? If I buy this, you know, what will I have to live on for whatever? And it's just so much about hassle and stress and just having money, which is removed. like the unnecessary stresses of life.
Yeah, I agree. I'm in that situation right now, right, where I can't really afford buying stupid shit. Like I save up sometimes, and like some months I'll get money on hand, and then other months I'm gonna live like a fucking gremlin, you know. So I understand that, like that month to month basis where you're like kind of stressing. Oh, is this the month where you get all the fucking bills? Oh fuck, that shit sucks, and I completely understand. So do you want like that like standard house, dog, wife kind of situation as well? You want to start a family in the future?
Oh yeah, 100%. Like family's always good, man. It just
For
keeps
sure.
your mind off it. Uh, Whether or not I'd have a fancy house, I don't know. Like I'm not someone who'd want to live in a mansion. A, it's too
No.
big. B, if it's like 2 in the morning and it's just you in the house and it's pitch black, like I'm just gonna be too shook to leave the place. I just want something small, cozy, maybe like a penthouse or an apartment. Something which is like just suitable for me. Have a couple kids, maybe get an animal or so. I'd love a bearded dragon again. Lizards are so fucking cool.
Oh yeah,
But
true.
yeah, nah. Like I wouldn't want anything amazing. I just want a comfy life, man.
Yeah, I mean, I
Just
100% agree.
gotta grind it.
Yeah, like there's a lot of people that have this. They want to achieve certain stuff in life. Like the one thing I want in life is just being happy with what you got, and living a life that is fulfilling, and where you feel good waking up every day, going to work, and you have something to come home to. For me, that's something I value. So I think that is like I think your answer everything the same way I would, to be completely honest. Being financially steady, family, all that kind of good shit. Travel the world is something I would love to do as well. So where do you hope to be in 10 years?
Fucking hell, 10 years.
Yeah, it's a hard one, eh?
That's a long time, man. Jeez. Hopefully, maybe abroad, working abroad. I reckon, because shit, I don't want to say it because Sushi was annoying me, but I'll fucking say it. So basically, my girlfriend's Italian and she lives in Italy at the moment. Like she goes to my uni, but she originally is in Italy. So probably somewhere in Italy, working like a nice accounting job, making a load of money. Probably not married yet, because apparently like with like the averages or some shit, like most people get married around 35 or some shit.
Yeah.
I've no idea how, so I don't know, maybe getting ready to marry. I guess getting some cool pets. And yeah, I guess settling down, I suppose, because like the fun part of your life is sort of gone in terms of like being active and spontaneous and shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, wanker, like, I know you said most people marry at 26. It's not. Apparently, like, in the UK, at least, the average is, like, 32, 33. And in Italy, it's even more than that. Like,
wow,
it's crazy. Yeah, the stats are well weird, man. Like, you wouldn't think it, but it is.
So, the entire thing with moving to Italy kind of has me a little intrigued, It's that kind of almost classic, like, overseas love story. I mean, and it's not something you should be worried about, I think, to be honest. Like, PewDiePie is a good example for that. It's also Italy, and he was from Sweden, and now, they have a nice house, and, I know it's like, it's not like the most common thing, but it's definitely not unachievable. So, I think that that's good. And if you see her every day on campus and shit, and you're happy with that, everything's gonna work out fine.
Yeah. I mean, it's not guaranteed that we're moving back to Italy, but I suppose that would be the best thing to see me do, because like her English is fucking perfect, man, and my Italian's a load of dog wank. I can like maybe say one or two things.
Spaghetti.
Like, yeah, exactly, like spaghetti, cazzo, like just random shit like that. But I don't know, like we've still got another 2 years of like pretty much living with each other. Like next year, our accommodation is just us two, like in a studio. So we got like 2 separate bedrooms and we share a kitchen. So we got 2 years to decide whether or not we want to move to Italy or whether or not we want to stay here.
Yeah.
And like it's a long time to decide that and try and figure that out. Like, but we'll see what happens. I don't mind moving to Italy, man. Like it just means that I'm closer to Germany, and then I can meet all my German brethrens.
Yeah,
like
sure.
I'm not really fast. Plus, Italy are doing way better than us during pandemics as well. But
Yeah, now they are at
yeah.
least.
And even if I stay in England, man, it's fine because the thing I'm studying, which is like I said, accounting and finance, like, it's such a versatile job, man. Like any
True.
country is gonna need someone to manage their money, whether or not it's the Italian mafia or the British hooligans. You know,
True.
someone's gonna need to make sure that their money's all good and they, you know, cheek a little bit of tax evasion. So I've got quite a versatile job in that sense.
Yeah, true. That's true. So, can you tell us a funny story from your life? Something funny, don't necessarily have to be around you, but something you experienced or was a part of that was hilarious to you, that you want to share at least.
A funny story, Stewart. Yeah, Dan's right, Stewart. That's a pretty funny story. Ah, shit. God, it's a long story as well, man. So, like I said, I'm in uni. In the first year, there's basically this guy called Stewart.
Oh, no.
Who is the biggest weirdo I've probably been. So, he's a year younger than me, I think. And there's defo something weird with him because you know what Nekos are, right?
With what?
Nekos or Nikos. It's pretty much like a human with cat-like aesthetics, I suppose.
Oh.
Like the anime thing. Like I'll send you a picture of one.
I know what you mean now. Oh God, no.
You can show, yeah. So like.
So the people
generally,
that kind of feel like they're a cat and shit like that, or like act like cat-ish, or
yeah. I mean, he wasn't really that strong in terms of thinking they were a cat.
Oh, okay.
He's more.
That's kind of fucked though. It's
Oh no,
really
no, it's
fucking out
worse.
there.
It's worse. He's more of a sexual attraction to people with these cat aesthetics. Like he was a really weird guy. And like in my uni, he'd stink. I unfortunately had a room next to him, and if his door was ever left open, which it was because we'd have cleaners, the cleaners would open a door and the room would just completely stink. Like all the corridor would smell, and he was such a smelly boy, man. And his hygiene was just non-existent.
So he fucking
Like,
reeked.
he did reek. Like his cooking as well was abysmal. He'd like he'd like cook bacon, but I think it's a bit of a lie to say he cooked it because he'd whack it in the pan for maybe like 30 seconds each side,
Oh,
and then
fuck
just
off.
take it out, and it would just be some raw like,
Oh.
and it would just be bacon by itself. So it'd just be a raw plate, like small plate of bacon, and you just pick it up and just eat it. And like it's 100% raw, and it's so disgusting. Like the things which he did, man. And he'd like not wash up properly as well. He'd just get like cold water. If he did wash up, normally he'd just whack it back into his cupboard, which again was really stinky
Dude,
and
what
dirty.
the fuck?
He'd like just get us like go put his like a plate underneath the sink, would like get like a finger like this, and just rinse it underwater, no soap or anything, rub his finger on it, or like scratch off like the sauce which was on it, and then he'll just chuck it away. And he was such a dirty, smelly man. Like we even asked him because we had like a laundromat. We were like to him, yo Stuart, so when have you ever like how do you feel about the laundry, you know? Because we didn't just want to say to him, have you ever washed yourself? So we're like, what do you think of the laundry, you know? Because, you know, are they too expensive for you? And he just replies with, I don't do the laundry. And I was like, what do you mean? And it's like, no, I don't do the laundry. And it's like, well, when do you do them? And it's like, when you go home. And it's like, well, when do you go home? And it's like, once you do this 3 months. And like, so it turns out that the guy, like, although he wears the same clothes all the time, he has like this checkered shirt. Like he does not wash anything for 3 months. He just has the same pairs of smelly clothes. And then like the guy like meows and role plays and does ERP.
Oh my God.
And it's so grim. But it's funny at the same time because he's also completely oblivious to the fact that we find him hilarious. Like we'll just randomly like start talking really weird to him. Bet he plays VR chat. Alpha, you need to finish that story, man. I got a video which I'm gonna send like at the end of this, which like exposes him, I suppose.
Is that something I can show on stream without
Yeah. No,
Oh, okay.
you can show it. Yeah, there's nothing bad about it.
Oh, okay.
But essentially, we decided to test him to see whether or not he knew, you know, what we're doing and that. So we started to talk like really weirdly. So like he'll tell us a story and we'd be like, wow, really, Stuart? What? really cool. And then like he wouldn't bat an eye about it. He'd think that's how we actually talk. So he'd just walk in and we'd be like, hello, Stewart. And then it'd be like, hi guys. And he'll like walk in with like these big ass headphones, like bigger than the ones I've got on now, with like his laptop, like put it on the table, play some like flash game or whatever. And he'll just do that. And man, fuck me, there's so many stories I have of him. But
do you think he might be autistic actually?
No.
But if he doesn't understand those social clues, there could be a chance that he's on the spectrum or maybe has Asperger's or something.
He's not autistic. I mean, his past is a bit fucked. Because there's this one time I was talking to my friend about something, and I can't remember what we're talking about. We were just making jokes about stuff. He just walked in, like, which he always does, like he always just butts into conversations. He just walks in and he just says, oh no, it wasn't to a friend, it was to my missus. I was talking to her about Italy, and then he just walks in and says, my mum got raped in Italy. And we're like, what?
Like, wait.
Yeah.
Women get raped all over the place, man. It's just fucking freaks that exist everywhere.
We were just talking about like, oh yeah, Italian food, pizza, pasta, and he just pops up saying that his mum got raped in Italy. And then he was so casual about it. He was like, yeah, so basically she was on tour with the school. Like, he doesn't actually talk like this, but you know, it's like he sort of does. He has that tone of voice, but he doesn't do that much stuttering. He had to tour a school, and she went to a construction site, and the guy let her into a place she wasn't allowed to, and raped her. And we're like,
dude, what
right,
the fuck?
Stuart. I was like, okay, and then he was completely fine with it because he replied with, "Wait, it's okay because the police caught her." And I was like, "What the fuck? Like, that's
how is that
still
okay?
Not okay?"
What?
He was like, "Oh, don't worry then because the police found out." I was like, "Holy shit, man! Like this guy is like next levels of scuffed." And like he'll meow and just make really weird noises for no reason. He'll just randomly go like, "Potato." I was like, "Stuart, what are you doing?" And he's like, "I'm making the noise." And I was like, "Okay, potato." And I was like, "Oh, great." And then one day I was walking into my room, and flashback to, like I said, he loves and echoes. He goes on VR chat and he does like ERP on that with lollies.
Wait, what is that? Is that like erotic roleplay shit?
Yeah, erotic roleplay. He does like sexual stuff.
No,
like
I'll
just hear him like in my room into his room, and he'll just be like meow, meow. I was like, oh my god, like what is this?
Bruh.
Like, what are you doing, man? And he's like, I'm a kitten. I was like, no, you're not, Stuart. And like, he'll try to lift weights. Like, we had like some bars in my room, or not in the room, like in the corridor. And like the way he picked it up, like I need to draw it to you, because I physically can't do it with my spine, because it looks like he was about to fracture it. So we asked him, are you strong, Stuart? He's like, yes, I'm very strong. And we were like, okay, then pick up this dumbbell, and it was like 20 kg, like it wasn't that strong, and like this was him lifting it up. Like again, I'll send it through on Discord. I did not know that your fucking spine, man, could like be that bad. Oh, is that your mum? Is she fit?
Wait, what? Oh. No, that's my girlfriend.
Is she fit?
If what?
Is your girlfriend fit?
Well,
I'd hope you'd say
fit,
yes.
But she's like, you know, she's not in bad shape.
Oh, no, fit means good looking. It's
yeah, I'd say so.
Good looking. I'd hope you say she is. Like, Jesus, like, don't hesitate over that, man.
Just say the way you get only from. No, yeah, I'd say so. I think she's very pretty.
Okay.
You know, we've been together for almost 6 years now.
So.
No,
6
yeah, for
years?
sure.
Boy, that's bad, man.
Yeah, we've been living together for like
shit.
almost 5 years.
What's her name?
What's her name?
Oh, has she got like an in-game name, like a
No,
like,
she doesn't play. She doesn't play. She's not
so
the e-girl.
That's unfortunate, but no, 6 years is impressive, man. You got to do some story time, like about her at some point. Like,
I don't know, man. Like, that's the thing, right? Like, that's like one thing I'd like to keep somewhat private. You know, like have that balance.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But like, she's she's from a different part of the country I come from. So I pretty much stole her away like for a 3-hour drive, and now we've been living together for like 5 years.
You're Swedish, right? You're from Sweden, yeah? Right? No?
No, I'm not Swedish.
You're not? Where the fuck are you from?
I'm from Denmark.
It's the same
You could
place.
not have offended me more than saying that. I'm from
It's the
Denmark.
same place. But like, but you still got the same thing though, right?
Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
Like, you got the same thing. Like, what's it? You've got that public system or information system or something, right? Or is that only like a Scandinavian thing?
What do you mean?
Or like only a Swedish thing? Like, if you know someone's first and last name, like all your info's fucking public, and you can just look them up and it'll show like where they live, who their relatives are, who their neighbors are. Or is that just a Swedish thing? Because I'm sure a few Scandinavian countries do that, no?
I'm actually not sure. It's not something I've ever looked into, to be fair. But, you know, like, yeah, Denmark is definitely not like Sweden. We're not nearly as fucked, and we don't speak the Ooga Booga troll language they do. Jävla kuk.
You got Nicholas Bentner as well, innit?
Yeah.
Like, the amazing
we
player.
have Schmeichel as well.
Okay, yeah. Well, I mean, who cares about Schmeichel, man?
Oh, you guys couldn't.
2-1.
He's too fucking. Oh, shut the fuck up! It's coming Rome, baby. Let's go.
It is coming Rome, but it's definitely not coming Copenhagen. But anyway,
that's fine.
Shit.
I literally don't give a fuck. Like I watched like 3 football games in my life. Not gonna lie.
we're getting
Yeah, we're getting sidetracked.
We're getting off topic. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. But so
can you show the picture of his posture? I don't know how to do it without like leaking the other picture I sent, because I don't know if that's
no. Just stand up
friendly.
and like slouch or whatever.
I can't, bro. I can't. My spine can't do that.
No. So he's like a fucking creature.
Impossible.
You say?
Yeah. All right. So because we can't show it, basically like his spine was like this, like it had like perfect curvature when he was picking it up, and we all thought he was going to break his back. No, because it's not even an arch, man. It's worse than an arch. It's like I don't even know. It's like a semicircle shape.
It's like...
It looks so weird, man.
Like, you know, obviously when you lift something heavy, like you're straight back down on your knees, like you know, knees down. You don't fucking.
You lift
do
with
it
your
like
legs, not with your back.
Exactly. Like that's fucking stupid.
But nah, I was so worried about him when he did it, because I thought he broke his back. He almost like dislocated his shoulder as well, man. What were we doing? We were playing.
Oh, no.
What's the word of the game? Ring of Fire. Have you ever heard about that game? Ring of Fire, drinking game. You might call it something else in Denmark.
Yeah, probably.
But it's essentially there's a glass in the middle, and you basically get like a load of cards around it, and each card means a certain thing.
Yeah.
Like,
I know that.
So like 6 is dicks, so men drink. You know, 4s is whores, women drink, shit like that.
Yeah,
so
sure.
he wanted to play, and he never drinks at all, and he was basically like, you know, I'm gonna play. So I was like, sure. So we gave him some alcohol. Like he wanted some. He was like, just make sure it's not strong. So I was like, okay. So we gave it to him, and then when it was his turn to drink, he refused to drink it. But like, I'm not drinking that. And I was like, why? We made you the drink. You wanted it. Is that because I don't want to? And like, he got really angry, and they were like, well, what? You know, how about we just get you some water then? Because the aim of the game is to fucking drink. Like,
it's
if you're not drinking,
game,
then
fuck's sake.
you shouldn't be playing it. And we did tell him as well. We were like, look, if you do join this, you have to drink. And then basically he just got really angry. And I was like, I normally don't swear, but fuck off. And then like he stood up and he tried to slam our kitchen door, which had like this resistant thing on it. Like, I don't know if you know what I'm on about. But it's like it's got the thing at the top where like you can't slam it because like it automatically like just resists it.
Yeah.
So when he did it, like you could see, like when he tried to slam the door, he was like, and like his arm went into like this really disgusting position. Like I thought, it was like, oh fucking hell, like is he all right? And you know, he slammed the door, and then he posted in our flat group chat. He was like, I hate you all. If I see people, I leave. And we're like, okay then.
Bye bye.
And then obviously, and then tomorrow he was the same old, just like, hi guys, and then. Yeah, so he's always been an odd one. Like he says like weird stuff sometimes. Like we'll just be talking and he'll be like, sometimes when I crouch, my leg clicks, and I'm like, okay, that's great, you know, good for you, Stewart. Or he'll be like, I can't taste spice because I have no sense of smell, and I was like, again, great, thanks for telling us. And then there'd be times where in my flat, we're on the 4th floor and our elevators didn't work. He'd walk up 4 flights of stairs and he would just be sweating and smelling and be like, and I'd be like, Stuart, what's up? Like, why are you panting? He was like, I had to go up the stairs. And I was like, oh shit, no, you're right, mate. It's like, yeah, I had to lift all this stuff and it was really heavy. And I was like, shit, what did you have to lift, Stuart? Like clearly you had to lift something heavy. Like maybe he was lifting like 3 shopping bags or whatever. Like he comes up, puts on the table like a box of frozen pizza in like 1 shopping bag and like a can of Coca-Cola, and he's like, it's so heavy. I'm like, come on, man, like you're better than this. Or like he'd eat crisps, the spicy ones. Do you have McCoys in
No.
Sweden, Denmark?
Fuck
do you have
off
Lay's?
already with the Sweden shit.
Do you
Stop.
have Lay's or what's the
Yeah,
word?
yeah. Lay's, we have Lay's.
Yeah, okay. So in England they're called Walkers, but for some reason everywhere else they're called Lay's. So
Is that the same brand?
yeah, it's the same branding, but for some reason they've just renamed it for some reason.
Oh.
But if you look, like, it's got the same logo and shit. It's just one says Lay's and the other one's Walkers. So he ate like this, not flaming hot, but it's like a Thai sweet chili one or some shit,
Oh, yeah,
crisps. And he would just overreact so much. He'd have his tongue out, being like, and like again, we're like, Stuart, what's wrong, mate? And he's like, it's really hot. It's like, right, okay. What's so hot? These crisps, they're really hot. I was like, okay, that's great, mate. And, you know, what do you want us to do about it? It's like, nothing, just want to tell you they're hot. And like, he'll just get water and it's still burning in my mouth. And, you know, get more. And then eventually, we all went home, and then I didn't see him until December. And this is when the Baba Boys joined him.
Oh,
So
no.
I've told this story,
Yeah.
to a few other people, to like sushi yeeping and all that. And obviously I already knew that he was on VR chat because he would always ask me to play with him. Be like,
Oh, no,
do
no,
you want
no.
to play Phasmophobia or whatever? And I'll be like, no, not really. And I'll be like, Phasmophobia is, you know, really scary. And then, you know, I'll be like, are you sure? It's like, yes. Sometimes I play by myself and the ghost really scares me, so I have to quit. And I was like, okay. And then he'd always be like, do you have VR chat? And at the time I was like, no, you know, VR chat's just for cringe anime role players. But it turns
True.
out VR chat's quite fun.
It is.
It
It
is
is
quite
fun.
entertaining, yeah. Like to grief, yeah, to ERP, I don't know. And essentially, we started Operation Stewart. So because I had him on my friends list, I could join any of his servers. So I changed my name each time, and we'd
No.
join, and then I'd just say his name and his last name out loud, because his name on Steam is Stewart B, and his last name's Brown. So what I'd do is I'd hide when everyone's talking to him, and I'd just be like, Stewart Brown, and then he'd look around and be like, who said that? I'd be like, Stewart Brown.
Oh my god, you can't dox him, bro.
Who said that?
You
Of course
can't
I
dox him, man.
Bro, it's public. If you go on his Steam, his full name's there. But it's just
okay,
his
fair
username,
enough.
Stewart B.
Fair
It's
enough.
not a dox. So I'd be like, Stewart Brown, be like, shit. And you know, who said my name? And then like people like Caesar or shit would like walk in and whatever, and then it'd be like, you better get out of my face, otherwise I'm gonna block you. And then like people would just be randomly talking, and he would just block everyone. So then we did that for like 2 or 3 days, and I just keep on changing my name, so it wasn't Derpa. And then one day, like, it was the day he blocked me and removed me. We joined, and he was talking to like this 13-year-old girl, or a girl who claimed to be 13. We're like, whoa. So I was like to Stuart with my alter name. It was probably like Frank or someone. He was like, I was like to him, Stuart, why are you talking to 13-year-olds, man? He's like, go away, who are you? And I was like, look, it's me, it's Derpa, bro. You shouldn't be doing this. Like, it's all got a bit serious. But then he didn't believe it was me. Like I kept on saying to him, yo, it's me, it's Derpa, you know, I'm from your flat. I was saying my real name, which is David. I was like, look, it's David. Look, you got to stop, man. You can't be talking to 13-year-olds. And they're saying, you're not David. David's real name, David's online name is Depra. And I was like, Depra? No, it's Derpa, man. And he's like, no, it's Depra. And then he was like still talking to him. And then eventually he was asking me questions like, what flat am I in? Or like, what's my flat number? And I was like, bro, I don't know your flat number. I've never been to your room. It's like, clearly the real Derpa would know that. And I was like, no, he doesn't. Because I'm him, I don't fucking know that. And then eventually he invited this 13-year-old into a private room on VR chat.
Oh,
who was
fuck
like
off.
yeah, and the thing is they were both like kiddie avatars, lolly avatars. In people don't know what lolly is. It's in like in the lore they're overage, but they look like a kid.
It's pretty
or
much
most-
fucking
Yeah, it's
fucking
CP, man.
pedophilia in fucking
Yeah, it's
hentai
pedophilia,
shit.
man.
Yeah,
Because
straight
they'll wear
up.
like they'll wear bikinis, bras, skirts, and all that shit, and they'll be like, "Oh well, no, it's fine because in the law they're 2,000 years old." It's
Yeah.
like, bro, that's a fucking kid, man. Like, what are you doing? You can't be dressing up as that avatar.
No.
And then I finally managed to not trick him, but I finally managed to get him to talk in a one-on-one with everyone, like with everyone hiding. And the idea was just to basically say his name because he hated people saying his name and he hated people getting close to him. So I decided, I'll just invite him to a world. I'll say it's private, just me and him, and I'll just invite him into there and see whether or not he clocks everything. So I'm gonna send you it now, and I want you to have a look, see
Right
what you
now?
think about it.
Right
Yeah,
now? Okay, first of
course.
all, there's about the 13-year-old girl thing. There's something I
Okay.
just gotta play real quick.
Yeah.
You were the clock that was ticking in my home. Changed my state of mind.
Ladies and
Love
gentlemen,
so hard to find.
we got him.
Jeg bliver så træt. Jeg bliver så fucking træt.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
As in back and everything. Yeah.
Oh my god, I want to die. Okay,
That's
sure.
that's
Mhm.
the avatars. So
Yeah.
here you go. This is Operation Mordhaus, is what I'd like to say. If anyone wants to watch it in their own time, feel free to like and subscribe. I've posted it in chat as well. Yeah, sit
Oh
back,
my
relax,
God,
enjoy,
bro.
and yeah, just play it for the stream and see what they think about it.
Alright, give me like a good sec here.
Yeah, you can review it. It's PG. There is no
Oh.
gore in it. Like nothing borderline illegal. Don't worry.
I thought you said it was just us.
It is just us. What do you mean?
Okay, then why is Big Bash the gaming Dan Denny?
Who?
Oh no,
Fucking hell
man.
here.
I don't know them. That's. Who the f-
Daddy
Why are
Moist.
you
It's
following me?
fucking llama.
Why is my name in your? Why is my name in like your bio? Why is it there?
It's not.
Why?
Mortal.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Yo, you guys fucking up.
Why is it in there?
Oh my god, bro, you're so fucking savage, man. What the fuck?
Yeah, man. It was like,
Oh.
better get out of my face if you don't want to get blocked. I was like, holy shit. And there was a bit more after that, but I thought that was like the best bit anyway. But there's like some more clips of him, but I don't have them recorded. I think someone else does, but
God damn,
holy
bro.
shit. Yeah, and then eventually I DM'd him because he was like to me afterwards, "Your voice is so annoying." I was like, "What?" I said, "I don't like you anymore." And I was like, "Why not?" I said, "Because you keep on harassing me." I was like, "No, we're not. I'm just trying to play games with you." He's like, "No." I was like, "Right, okay then." So I then said that I'll make sure that the women in my flat, because he tried to hit up my girlfriend at some point and got completely rejected, and then he had like a hissy fit over it. And he was like trying to say it was because of my past, and it was like, no, it's just because I'm not interested. So I was like, I'll just make sure that the girls who you're simping in our flat don't talk to you. And he was like, I don't care. So I was like, well, have fun talking to underage kids. And he just told me to fuck off and blocked me. And then unfortunately, I haven't spoken to him since.
Unfortunately.
And there you go.
What do you mean, man?
Yeah, I mean, it would have been fun to
It would
speak to
be
him
fun,
a bit
yeah.
more, to harass it. Well, not to harass him, but to enjoy time with him. But he has other aims, and his aims, unfortunately, are underage children.
Yeah, you
I
should
can't
literally fucking report that guy, like, no cap.
really.
Like, actually fucking, like, having
The
a
thing
check
is,
or some
like,
shit.
I could tell the university, but I've got no proof of it, and I doubt he'll ever admit it. And because it's on VR chat, like, you'd never know if the person's actually 13 or whatever. But
No, I
we'll
mean,
see,
I
man.
don't mean like
see.
canvas. I mean like fucking like actually, like, police kind of shit. Like, you never know what he has of chats around there and shit. Like, they can check
Still
lots.
got no proof, man. I still have no evidence. I can't just accuse him.
No, I mean, I guess not, but still, that's kind of fucked.
I mean, he'll
Yikes.
clock himself. He's not a discreet person. Oh, shit. Person. Yeah, that's probably the funniest story which I've had as of recent.
I mean, that was kind of funny, I'm not gonna lie. That was an
Yeah.
interesting and very unusual kind of story, but like, I'm glad you shared it. It was interesting.
It's okay. I
Um,
mean, should be spread out a bit more, man.
Shout out to Stewart.
Big up Stewart, yeah.
Man, I swear, I wish I've been there for that fucking weird chat meme. That was actually fucking hilarious. I made my day, man. Good shit.
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be more people who are like
Yeah,
that
yeah.
on VR chat one day when I find them.
Oh yeah,
I'll be sure to hit you up, man.
for sure, man. Well, that's pretty much the questions that I have for you. I mean, we've been going
Yeah.
for 3 hours. Does chat
Not
have
bad.
anything you want to ask? Derpa and Stewart Brown. Yeah, that's true.
I wouldn't say it's the holy duo. One's a nonce and the other one's a Mortal player. There's nothing holy about
I mean,
either of them.
Two of the same, really. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Ah.
Pretty much no difference, man.
I mean, there's been stuff about like there being pedos in Morehouse and shit, right?
Yep, Grim Rapier, big up, and Zakcha are the two which come to mind. Grim Rapier was a sus one. Like, it was kind of borderline, like, pedo, to be honest.
Mm.
Like, he did loads of art of, like, underage kids who were, like, technically overage based on, law and whatever. And, like, his profile pictures were really sus and shit.
Yeah.
And it was borderline, but we managed to like out him, and then he changed his name. I'm not gonna say his new name now, but
No,
he's
no.
been fine. He's been fine since. Like the guy did reform. Like, although he didn't really agree with the fact that it was technically pedophilia, he like accepted it in a way, and no one dislikes him, I guess, that much anymore. Like, I don't mind the guy, but
Okay.
Zach Chen, he was a whole different breed of fucking pedophilia nonce weirdo.
Yeah.
Like he'll just say that like it's okay to wank over kids online because the kids aren't actually getting hurt in real life and shit like that. And then I had like a whole screenshot like of like loads of messages which he sent. I don't think I've got them anymore.
Nah,
because
man, I don't think
I
we
don't
should
want
watch that on
that shit.
stream either. To be fair.
Yeah, like it's not a video. It's just like it's like a collection of his Discord logs. But then he'd say that he was baiting people and whatever. But then at the same time, he does agree that pedophiles are okay as long as he doesn't. Sorry, as long as like the kid doesn't get harmed. Like he actually did agree to that, and like unironically think that's okay and shit. But nah, he's just like a different breed of weirdo.
Yeah, that's kind of fucked up. Yikes, bro. Shit, man. We're hitting the controversial topics today. I mean, I don't mind that. I think it's funny, to be fair. It's nice to have a spiced up podcast for once, actually. That's not just, I mean, obviously the Mordhaus and streaming stuff always have to come up, when it's, Mordhaus streamer. But it's also nice to have, like, a little bit of a freak show on. It's kind of fun. Yeah, okay. Fair enough. King Savage ass chat. But yeah, Derpa, we should sometime. I'll go to England. We should do like a Predator Hunt real life
Oh,
stream.
yeah.
That'd be funny as fuck.
Yeah, sure. We'll look up some nonces. Souls in the area. We'll try and link him up. Try and search for him. He's not actually a pedo for the people in chat who take me seriously. He's not. Soul's a lovely guy,
Yeah, true.
brilliant friend of mine.
It's a
So
homie.
please don't bully him at all. Leave him alone. He's my Italian queen.
Yeah, true. You have Italian babes stacked, man. Straight up.
Yeah, I know. Too many, man. I got
fucking
sushi,
crazy.
tuna. Yeah, it's too many to count.
Too many. Now you're building a harem slowly.
Yeah, just sell them off at some point. Maybe trade some goats
No,
with pain for him.
Derpa.
Oh shit. Sorry, I can't reveal that plan.
Advocating for human trafficking.
Yeah.
Bruh.
It's fine,
Okay.
we're saving the animals.
We're scratching that. Okay. Well, chat, do you have anything you would you want to ask Mr. Derpa before we call it quits for today? Oh, by the way, if you missed any part of this, I'm gonna re-upload it to my YouTube channel, which is in this command. Check it out. Like, subscribe. Don't be a cunt. Shameless plug, yeah. Do you have a... Okay, yeah, I'll link your Twitch channel as well. Because, of course, Derpa is
Thank you.
the homie, man. Yeah. You know, I don't really have much else to say. Follow Derpa on Twitch or else, you know.
Yes.
Or else. But yeah. Well, shit. I guess that's pretty much it. Thank you for coming on, man. I appreciate you taking the time, as I said earlier, and it was very fun.
Thank you for having me, man.
For sure,
Very
bro.
honoured.
Don't make me blush, man.
But before you go, could you show me your tattoo? I heard you got a tattoo, brand new one.
No,
I'd like
I
info
don't.
on
I
it,
haven't
please.
got it yet. You know, this month had been like a shitty fucking month as I didn't have any income. Or no, my girlfriend didn't have any income actually. I had, you know, my, usual, but it was cut in half. So pretty much like I've been doing fundraising streams and shit like that this month. And now that I got a Twitch payout, that has been going solely to rent and bills. So thank you guys for helping me with that. That was really, really helpful. But next month, I'm gonna get a little load of money, like at the end of the month. So at the 25th of August is when I'm getting a tattoo.
Don't you have a pin-up one?
I have a pin-up, I have a sloth, I have a fucking mushroom, and I have a lot of the rings tattoo.
Can I see the pin-up? Is that TOS friendly?
Yeah, I mean, it's a fucking... It's like a fucking fat-assed...
It's a bunny.
Yeah, it's a fucking bunny suit, fat ass with a cherry tattoo on her ass and holding a slice of pepperoni pizza, pretty much.
Does that have any looks of your girlfriend, I hope?
Yeah, the fat ass. And the same hair color and eye color.
I'd like to say I hope it's based on her, man. If it's not, that's a bit...
It is.
That's a very sus, man. And very good if she looks like that. Oh!
I mean, it is based off of her. It's the same eye colors and ass and,
good.
hair and all that kind of good stuff. She
Lovely.
doesn't have a tattoo on her ass, though. No tramp stamp, just saying.
Not yet. I'm sure you're going to aim for that, aren't you?
We'll see.
Ooh.
Well, yeah, I'll see you, man. Thank you for coming on. Yeah. It was a pleasure.
Thank you. You too, man.
No, I'll see you, bro.
Care. Enjoy your stream.
Thank you, man. Bye-bye. Alright, so... That was fun.